Once upon a time, there was a group of dads who started playing D&D. This is their story.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to D&D with Dads. The entire gang is here, which is a really important thing because I don't want to jinx this, but this might be the final episode of the season. It all depends on what happens in the next few levels of the Mage's Tower. So you guys have been on this epic quest and have gone so far. You have acquired numerous keys. Many of those keys seemed similar, but you guys having a moment to kind of analyze them, as you look at the keys, which ones seem to stick out as maybe being different or of some exception?
Would be numbers 5 and 7 appear to be different so far.
And then we got that keys of 3, right?
Yeah.
Or
did
those look all the same?
They were 3 of them, but they all looked the same,
Okay.
like triplet keys. But is that important to know for some reason?
Maybe.
3.
Maybe.
They were also from a room full of mimics, so.
The keys are mimics.
Yeah, I was going to say, we get to the end and 2 of them attack
Despite
us.
us.
Port a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so you guys have stairs that seem to go up for at least another level, up to another landing and another portal. Do you choose to go up? You don't really have a choice. You guys have been totally railroaded, except it's just a tower. You're on an elevator. So you go up to the next level. Yeah, sure. You go up to the next level. Stone archway, wooden door, keyhole.
Firebolt. No.
Does the keyhole appear to match another keyhole that we've seen?
It is extremely similar to any of the matching keys. It seems like it would work with any key.
It syncs up perfectly with a key that it matches.
Just tell me which number you'd like to use.
Use the keys
for
of
traps
3
first.
Yep.
What's that?
Check for traps.
Oh, good man. Yeah, check for traps. Let's have that.
Ooh.
Love that.
That's
Riff's
just
walking up and
dexterity?
he's like, oh, wait.
Did you just say a 30?
No,
Oh, shit.
I rolled a 4,
Sorry.
but is it dexterity? Or sleight of hand?
Sorry, 32.
No, but checking for traps is an investigation roll.
Investigation. Oh, well, that's +0, so a 4.
Okay. So you don't see any evidence of any traps.
Looks just fine, guys.
Who I need a reminder on passive perception because I don't have my cheat sheet. What's the high passive perception? I know Durant.
17.
Where do I find that?
So it's basically what your perception, if you add your perception together, that's your passive perception. If you have proficiency in it.
Okay, I do. It's 3 + 3.
So it'd be 13. So
Okay.
Durant, you hear
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay.
you hear a rattling from inside of the room. And it seems to be going away from the door.
Okay. Given that I hear something on the other side of the door, I probably can't peek through the keyhole, can I?
This one's not really big enough to peek through.
Okay.
Also, you notice that there is, I guess you would see though, like the flickering of maybe torch or candlelight, like at just the ever so slightest level underneath the door.
Okay. How big is underneath the door?
It is, big enough to see. I would say 3/4 of an inch. So like big enough to see that there's light flickering. I suppose if you got down on the ground and like leaned and looked, you could probably see underneath the door.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to slide my mirror in at such an angle under the door to be able to see more of the room than I would be able to see just peeking in myself.
I mean, it sounds like you just put your head down at the bottom and looking underneath the door, right?
I will say, because of the angle, it's hard to see. I'll say that you could see a little bit more. You see that the room seems to have, like, I'm trying to think, like you're looking at something that's on the ground. You could see the ceiling at this angle. You know what I mean? Because you can't really arch the mirror.
Basically up.
So but the ceiling does seem to be like a normal, like 10-foot height. You can actually see it. And you see like rafters and like joists, you know, kind of like interconnecting. Like it's almost like there's like you're maybe in an attic kind of space.
Okay,
You don't see Rod.
I'm gonna pull out like a handful of ball bearings from the bag of ball bearings that I have and chuck them under the door and try to make noise to see if that triggers anything.
Interesting.
He just home aloned it.
I'll take that bait.
I mean, my bag of ball bearings has 1,000 ball bearings in it, so I could just dump the whole thing. But I'm just doing
Okay.
Well, would I be able to cast my clairvoyance spell like through the, like under the door so I could see?
Oh,
I thought about doing that, but I didn't want to burn the spell to do it.
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe you might have just broken my game, Humphrey Humblebottom. Okay, so let's see about this. So the location is not familiar to you.
I mean,
Behind a door. Now, it does say, or in an obvious location that is unfamiliar, such as behind a door, around a corner. All right, so yes, I will say that with you craned down, kind of looking underneath the door, you could cast clairvoyance.
okay, and I would choose to see.
Okay, smart move. You get an inspiration.
Woo.
Durant, you also get an inspiration.
Yeah, right.
Durant, you also get an inspiration because here's what happens. Durant does you do your like flick of the ball bearings and they go, you hear them like skittering across the floor. And then you hear like the rattling sound kind of stop. And then you hear something kind of like sweep across the floor. Not like a footstep, like a sweeping sound. Humphrey, you get this idea to do clairvoyance. You concentrate and you create an invisible sensor on the other side of the door. As you focus on seeing through the sensor, you see that this room, similar to the others, is a 180 degree, half of a circle, basically. The outer walls are rounded, just like the other big tower rooms. This room is not unlike a sculpture gallery. There are humanoid figures of various sizes, medium, small, even a few large. All of them seem to be like captured as if they were in mid-action. Some of them are like looking away with their arm up. Some of them kind of have like a shield and a sword. They're all in these action poses, and they are all completely made of stone.
So do I have enough arcana knowledge to determine if this is a Medusa?
You don't need the arcana knowledge because you were smart enough to use clairvoyance sight, and you in fact see a Medusa kind of using the statue garden as cover to kind of like she like slithers to one and like hides behind it, and she's looking at the door, and then she slithers to another and she's hiding behind it, and she's kind of like looking at the door, right? And you see that she has a long bow and she has a quiver of arrows, and she's got it drawn, and she's kind of like waiting.
Like basically pointed at the door?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I'll go back and...
taking cover behind, the statues and kind of going, point by point, moving from cover position to cover position with the longbow like ready to fire.
Okay, so I look back and I look at Tuka when I say, "Coast is clear. You go first." No, I'm just kidding. So I'm just kidding. No, so I go and tell everybody, hey, there's Medusa behind here, right? She knows we're here. Arrows drawn. We need a game plan.
You have to get through the door first.
We probably don't need the key from this room.
Right?
Let's move on.
That's true. Let's keep going.
We could write a note in common and hope I can read, and maybe I can mage hand the note in there, and I'm not exactly sure what we put on the note. What do you guys think?
You look very pretty today.
And I mean, maybe.
I mean, can you communicate with a Medusa? Like, what's a Medusa's intelligence? I know I'm trying to meta here, but I guess I would assume.
No, I'll say go ahead and make an Arcana roll to see what you recall from your lore of these cursed creatures.
So Arcana be 20, not natural.
Okay, that is more than sufficient. You know that they are intelligent. You know that they're capable of speaking and typically speak at least a common tongue. And sometimes they speak the tongue of whatever languages they spoke prior to being affected by their curse.
The Medusification.
Yes.
All right, so here's
your recollection is also that there's something having to do with its gaze, that if you meet its gaze, if it makes a connection with you eye to eye, that you turn to stone.
You're gonna have.
So I like your idea about the note. Maybe we push a note through and say we want the key in
Yeah.
there.
I mean, can't we just yell? Can't we just yell under the door?
I don't know. Let's try the note, because we could say like, hey, we're here and we're here to rescue you, which is kind of true, right? We're rescuing everyone, and we're just wondering if you have a key that could help us complete our quest. And we would come in and visit you. We're not sure, if anyone's in there, because we don't. Well, we do know. We heard. And I know this is a long note, so I guess that's helping me make it more shorthand. But if you do have a key, could you just like put it on this note and slide the note back under the door, and we'll be on our way?
Be cool around here for a second.
I mean, I don't think that's a terrible thing.
I mean, if you guys want to talk to the door, that's fine. I don't know.
If she comes back and says, "I'm gonna hate you, hope you all die," we can just say, "Well, see you bye. Well, hopefully, we don't need your key."
Yeah. Okay, so let's write a note. Let's just say, "Hey, look, we're interested in the key. We don't mean you any harm."
Like we have a virus and we don't want to get her sick.
Right.
So we just slide it with mage hand, and then we could just mage hand it back. What do you guys think?
Or you can just flick it under the door. There's enough of a gap that you probably could fit it under the door. Yeah.
Or you can carry it as a bet and figure out the room while I'm in there.
Yeah, but wouldn't you, if she looks at you,
I'm a bat.
Bats can't get turned to stone?
You can
As they
close your eyes.
and use echolocation.
This is my attempt to actually get Riff to be deceptive for once instead of
Right?
persuasive.
You could be a lizard and have a slight translucent film of your eyes, and therefore you would never. Let's do the note. Let's do the note.
Okay.
All right, so Riff pulls out a piece of parchment and a quill. I think he's got a quill and ink.
Okay. Am I to assume that Humphrey is still concentrating on clairvoyance?
Yeah, I got 10 minutes on the spell.
So as he is writing that, you could tell that she's like kind of like peeks out multiple times as if she's waiting for you guys to come through. And you see she kind of like looks confused. There's almost like a sense of confusion about why it's taking so long for you guys to come in. And at one point you see that she kind of like leans down and like flicks one of the ball bearings that's on the floor back towards the door.
Biff starts coughing to go along with his saying where we've got like we're sick and we don't want her to catch what we have when she does that.
You
And then
notice
he
that. Go ahead and make a deception check.
Finally. Natural 20.
Oh, there you go.
Plus 11, so 31.
Wow. You see that she like upon this she like kind of like moves back and she slings her longbow and kind of like takes cover behind one of the larger statues, and she's just watching the door now, waiting.
I relay this information back to the team.
So you finish the note?
Yeah. Yeah, finish the note.
Give me the gist one more time. Give me the
Yeah,
gist
so
of the
like
note.
hi, we're here to rescue you. And we're collecting keys to help us in our mission. We would come in, but we've got some kind of virus and don't want to give it to you. If you have a key, would you please put it on this note and I'll bring Mage Hand it back.
Okay. So you send the note underneath the door?
Yeah, so I set it down and I use Mage Hand to push it, I don't know,
So
15 feet.
To see it, you're kind of looking under the crack of the door. You slide it, you see it sliding across the floor. And you see her hand, she kind of like waits until it's close enough, then she reaches out and grabs the note and brings it back. And Humphrey, you see that she's like behind the statue, but she's constantly like, her eyes are going from the note back up to the door, note door, as if she's waiting, anticipating a surprise attack. Like she's waiting for the door to open. And then she finishes reading the note and she looks at the door and you see her face is kind of like skeptical. And then she goes, which key do you seek?
Good question.
Guys, which key do we seek?
Any key you have. I mean, are the keys numbered?
No.
Yeah, so
I mean, they're numbered in the ways that I showed you guys, just so you can keep track of them.
Right, that's what I was. They don't actually have any physical manifestation. Corporeal. Yeah. Right.
So when
do you have many keys?
She says, you will bring me something.
What?
Bring me the key from the Pirate King, and I will give you the key to the tomb of the mage who never dies.
Okay, guys, what do you think?
We have a key from a Pirate King already.
Shit, right? Can't we just keep going up?
You could.
Or we could just go in and murder her. I mean, that would be an option.
We don't have the key for the Pirate King. Is that what it was?
How about we ask her where we find?
Yeah, good question.
Where do we find the key?
Ask her to describe it.
Can you describe the key from the Pirate King?
Yes.
Thanks.
She says,
she describes the key.
She says, its top is like a fleur de lis, 3 flowered, 3 points of the flower. Its bottom, the tumblers, like the letter E, and the point, a rounded knob. She basically describes most of the keys that you have.
Hand her one.
Yeah, hand her one of the ones that looks identical, I guess.
One of the keys of 3?
Well, we could do the keys of 3, or we could do like key 1.
Or just put them all in there and
Well,
be
we
like,
already used
"Pick
key one
one."
to get into the tower. We don't need that one anymore, right?
There you go. We have no idea if we need any of these, if we need all or any of these keys anymore.
Yeah, give her key
Right.
one.
Give key one. Okay.
Who has key one?
You slide key 1 under the door and you hear her hiss, and she says, "Not one of the silver keys."
Ooh.
She says, "The Pirate King's key is gold."
Did she return the key?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do
She
we
like
have
swats
any-
it under, and a few of the ball bearings come with it.
I'm picking up the
Finger.
ball bearings and adding them back into my bag as we go. So
We don't have any that are gold.
The Pirate King, he has the gold key
Where do we find the Pirate King?
in the tower.
We're in the tower.
He is a prisoner.
You were super helpful, Medusa lady. Okay.
We'll go and look and come back.
so glad we didn't kill you.
Yes,
Possibly help a
right.
bunch of sick people.
Yeah, this is way better than killing you. Okay. See you later.
And Durant literally does say that. Out
Fair
loud. All right, I guess we're going up.
Yep. Unless you guys want to go in and just like end this.
If she can turn people to stone, there's not much I can do to help.
I have stone skin. Or not stone skin, what is it? I have
That way you can be double the stone.
right? What do I have, right? I have stone shape, right? So I can merge. Once you get turned into stone, I can meld into you. And,
Freeze a statue room of one.
right?
Why don't we move on and see, what else there is, get more knowledge, and then if we need this key, then either we give her the key she wants or we go in and we kill her.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be rational about it. Yeah, let's do it. I'm with that vote. If anybody else wants to go too.
Yeah, I'm for that.
Okay.
Goodbye, ma'am. We'll see you soon.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go anywhere.
Go anywhere.
You go up to the next level. There is a door with no key, no keyholes, and no handle. And to the right of the door is a metal plaque with some writing.
What does it say? I would like to observe it from a reasonably
says
safe
push.
difference back. Right? Drink me.
The metal plaque has the words "on, off, switch." And above it is a small circular knob with jagged edges. And it has approximately 12 points.
Does it look hurty? Like, does it look like I would hurt myself if I touched it?
Or you mean the points sharp enough to do?
Yeah.
No. They're like the points of like a cog,
It's
basically.
utilitarian. Okay.
Where is
all,
it pointing
all
now?
the points are the same size, or is there one that's clearly larger?
It is there. It's perfectly identical, like all the way around.
Could you draw
there
this
an-
for us?
In the same fashion that you would see like a gear, like a cog.
Is there an indicator on it as to which, where it's pointing to or anything?
You mean where the on-off switch goes?
Well, I'm assuming we would rotate it around, and one position it's going to be on, one position is going to be off, and one is going to be maybe switch. I don't know.
Yes,
Can
maybe.
I dimension door myself to the other side of the door?
Can you see on the other side of the door?
Yeah, you don't have to.
know.
You
I
have to
don't
see
know
it.
exactly. I would have to look that spell up.
It says if you know the location, you can do it.
No.
Or let me finish.
If you want to.
If you could, right? If I want to. No, if you can like directionally say like I want to transport myself 10 feet, directly in front of me, or something like that. First of all, I'm not committing myself to this behavior, which would inevitably get me killed. But I was just curious.
Master, if you do that and there's something dangerous on the other
Oh,
side,
yeah, I
you're
know.
kind of on your own.
I am effed.
Durant's gonna walk up and he's gonna knock on the door.
Okay, you knock on the door. Nothing happens.
Okay, good to know.
Yep.
It says you could
I
just
want to try to turn it.
Yeah, go for it.
With your bare hands.
I think he has regular hands.
Yeah, I think I have just gnome hands.
Yeah, sorry, dad jokes. D&D with dads. I don't know who put a quarter in me today. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you try to open the door, or you try to turn the gear thing?
I want to try to turn the gear so that the top portion spins towards the word on, whether that's counter or clock.
You can't seem to turn it. You can't get. It's like there's something missing from your ability to turn it.
Does the back half of any of our keys look like they'll either fit in or around it?
Are you looking at your keys right now?
Yeah, after I try to turn and shake it and it doesn't do anything,
Nope.
I want to start looking at them. No?
Nope.
Hmm.
It looks like the size of the gear thing is close to the size of one of the loops that are, at the top of your key.
Question.
Yes.
Could I attempt to jam my crowbar tip into it and turn it?
Yes. No. You're talking about to turn the wheel or to jam the panel open?
To turn the that's a good question.
I'm lost. Is there any way you could draw this?
Yes.
Is it-
Here's the drawing. Here's
Okay.
a door. To the right of the door is a metal panel on the wall. And that panel says on off. And above that is a cog, like a little gear thing.
You know what?
Okay.
I will actually try to pop the plaque with on and off on it off the wall.
Excellent move. So you get out your metal crowbar, you wedge it in there, and now you're going to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, I'm good at those.
You should have flipped the breaker off.
It's a rookie
Famous
mistake.
last words.
Right?
Oh, I'm good at those.
I'm grounded. I don't know.
That would be a 21.
Check it with the back of your hand.
How much?
21 off a natural 16.
Okay, so you only take half. So take 15 electrical damage.
Jesus.
And you, I guess you're not sent back 5 feet because you're that stalwart. You're just like, oh,
Stalwart.
you just take a whole bunch of electrical current.
She takes a step back and goes, ow.
Yeah, you all see this, and in fact, you smell a little bit of burning as like you see like there's like just an ever so small amount of like smoke emanating off of Durant's head.
Can I do this? Can I use my crystal ball and ask, is there danger behind this door?
You concentrate on the crystal ball.
Yep.
You ask if there's danger behind the door. According to the Magic 8-Ball results, very likely.
Damn it. Okay.
Cool. Durant's kind of obsessed with this puzzle now. So he's going to take out the clay and he's going to make the shape of that. Actually, did Esterov point out the shape, first of all? Need to establish that.
The shape of what's a cog or the key that's similar?
Yeah, the key that's similar.
No, I guess I should. It's nearly the same size as the fleur-de-lis on the back of the key. While he's doing that, I'd like to push on. and then push off.
I was thinking that too.
Nothing
I
happened.
thought, damn.
The on and off are not buttons. It's like literally writing etched into the metal panel.
This is a magical world, Bill. It could have been a button for all we
It
know.
could have, yes.
When Durant pried on the plate, did it come off?
No.
The electrical damage?
No,
So
it just hurt.
Really bad.
It didn't hurt me that bad.
15. How much HP do you have?
Well, it's half of 15 from what I understand. Is
Oh,
it, Bill?
No, it was 30, so you took 50.
Oh, okay. So I took 15. All right. So hang on. I need to adjust that then.
What if I cast create water behind the panel?
We're all gonna get electrocuted. Thanks, man. TPK. We're done.
All right, fair enough. You short it out. And then it stops. Water's cascading out of the panel.
I just created some hydrogen gas. Sorry, I didn't do anything else.
You broke the door.
Right. This is now what? Now you've bricked the campaign. Okay. Well, do you want to keep going?
I kicked the wall.
Do you want to try and turn that cog with one of the keys or with the clay?
Well, is that what Durant's doing?
That was what Durant was proposing to do with the clay. Yeah, make the
That sounds like a good idea. It's non-conducting.
Okay, so Durant,
yes.
you are going to need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Another thing I'm pretty good at. Okay, that's a 22 off a natural 15.
As you mold, you're like thinking about what he said, like what, and you're like looking at this thing, you kind of like are looking at and kind of elasticizing the clay. You put the clay around the cog and kind of sculpt around it, and you pull it away. And in fact, it becomes sort of this connecting circle that fits in perfectly. And but it's still soft. So you kind of like blow on it. You're like, and then it becomes instantly like super strong. Do you try it?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a shot.
Okay. You fit it over and you begin turning it. You turn it and the panel opens.
The panel, but not the door.
The panel opens.
Okay.
Make Constitution savings throw.
And it reveals so it reveals inside these strange coils that when the panel first opens, it like sparks for a second, but you see that all the coils are damp and the copper coils.
I was gonna say, you probably like shorted it all out by now.
They no longer are emanating any electrical pain. In the wall, so this panel opened up, you see these coils, and then in the wall is another box that's sunken into the wall. And there's a small 1-inch circular indentation on the right side of this otherwise smooth surfaced box. And there's a groove that dissects the diameter of this circle.
About how big is the circle and how big is the bisecting line?
Make an investigation check.
Does it look like a screw? Like a straight slot screw?
Yes.
Who has key number 7?
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
That was an 8. So I
Find the most obtuse way to describe that.
Who's got key number 7? Try it.
Hope that wasn't the one we threw in at her.
No, she
Oh, we
got
got that one back.
We got
Yeah,
that
that's
back,
all good.
yeah.
Got it back.
anyway, my investigation was an 8, so probably not going to do much.
Tuco, he's like, hey, how about he points this out and you guys get the key number 7 out. And in fact, that edge of that key looks like it would fit precisely in that bisected circle. And as you kind of stick that in there, Tuco, you were thinking about your some of your roguish training, and you're like, this is not entirely all that different from, you know, dismantling traps that are you know, tripwires locked around screws. If I loosen this, but then you're also thinking to yourself, what'll happen if I loosen this? Will it activate a trap?
Let you go as a fighter.
I'm multiple.
Oh, look at you go. Okay.
You overcome your concerns and you begin to unscrew this, right? And you take the you remove the screw, and the metal box opens and swings to the left. Inside of the box is a handle, like a wooden handle that looks like you can pull it or push it.
Does someone want to put a magic hand in there?
I'll do it. I'll mage hand it.
All right, so you're
would
going
like
to
to
pull it with the mage
Pull
hand?
it. Yep.
Okay. You pull the handle with mage hand wisely. You hear a click, and 3 seconds later, you hear another click.
You're out of ammo.
Yeah, right.
Back up.
Directly, you see that there's a small orb, and it's flashing red.
Where is this orb?
There is a hole on one side, a small circular hole about 1/4 inch in diameter. On the left side of the hole is the word off, and on the right side is the word on. And there is an arrow currently pointing to the word on.
Can I flip it off?
With what?
Mage hand.
Finger.
Uh,
With
Mage
Estros finger.
The mage hand is
It seems-
invisible. You can't
it
even
seems
see
like
it.
you need something like to kind of push into that hole, into that indentation,
Ah,
in order to be able to manipulate the
Like the other side of the key?
a novel
Um,
choice.
which key.
Number 7?
Or
One.
like a small knife. Would a small knife do it?
You guys are
Well, it
making
said it was
practical
round. So a bunch of the other keys, instead of a straight slot like 7 had, a bunch of the other ones were round, but they're all identical. So I don't know which one we used.
Make an investigation check.
Three.
You failed. One of your keys that's different from the others is a key that you have not used yet.
Oh, key 5 is different.
7 is also different.
7 we used already though, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. We did.
Or you can just shove the clay in there, make it go rigid, and then shove it back in there.
The clay is still rigid.
So put key 5 in and see if it will let us rotate or change it to off.
Okay. You insert key 5 in. It's
Little circle.
it doesn't seem to be turning.
But can we, instead of turning like this, can we move it left or right to try and go towards the off?
It seems like what you need is something that would go something that could fit into the hole, simultaneously engaging whatever is inside of the hole with some degree of pressure along the edges.
So what's
Try.
what's the material that is surrounding the door? Is it like stone?
No, it's iron.
I have no further questions.
Can I just go old school and try and pick the lock? The thieves' tools.
Sure.
Roll for Constitution save.
I gotta change my dice. Hand 8 plus 4, 12.
You can't seem to find the right combination of tools that you have to achieve the ability to simultaneously insert something into this hole that would provide pressure and also leverage to turn.
All
It's
right.
like-
Hey, Tuco and Humphrey, what is your you guys have that key that you found at the Order of the Turning key, right? What does that one look like?
That was key 1, right?
Oh, is that key 1? Okay.
Okay. Astroff.
Yeah, I'm going to ask for all of the keys and just try this side of the key, flip that side of the key, toss it. This side of the key, flip that side of the key, toss it. Every one of them.
Okay. You begin doing this systematically. I'm going to have you make a investigation check.
Oh, nice. A 19.
Okay. When you get to key 5, you turn it and you notice that there's like a little play in the key. And you notice that the two parts of key 5, like the middle of key 5, you see these like lines almost as if it's threaded. And you begin kind of wiggling the two ends of the key. And it seems like it can unscrew. Like key 5 could unscrew, like in the middle.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to hold it in place and then play back and forth with that back half while
Okay.
holding the pressure.
It doesn't fit in there. The pressure doesn't fit in there. But you unscrew it.
Yeah.
You notice that the one end screws into the other, and that the back end of key 5 with the fleur-de-lis side is the part that the front end of key 5 screws into, and the back end of key 5 has a perfect threaded circle now. And you insert that into the hole and begin twisting, and now it begins to turn. You turn it and the slide goes from on to off, and you hear another click and then a sound that goes bzzz. You heard another sound from the door.
I think picking locks would have been a bad thing.
I think
So
it
now-
was the water.
You heard the last sound after like the power down sound. The last sound seemed to come from the door itself.
So I'm going to try to push it open or over.
It pushes right open.
And I'm ready.
Okay. You push open the door and a waft of air comes at you. Like open windows air.
Oh.
Like the smell of what, like the sea, almost like the smell of the sea. Like you remember the smell from your earliest days when you guys like began your adventures.
I get a quick glimpse of Captain Katie in my mind.
Yes. And it's that smell of the sea is not just a smell. You hear the sound of like water lapping up against a shore. And as you're looking into the room, it's the same, half of a tower, 10-foot ceiling. But in this case, there are cells with stone walls and iron bars in the front, cells that go all the way along the curved wall. There are about 12 of them. Each one of the cells has a window that is open, like stone, but it has like bars to prevent anyone from escaping. And that is where the sound of the sea and the smell of the sea is coming from. But you also notice that in each one of these cells, there are prisoners. Most of them are in their bunks, laying down. But one of them is standing looking out the window. So he has his back to you. He has long, like gray white hair that goes down like halfway to his back. He's wearing like a leather vest with like a very stained, ragged kind of white shirt underneath. He has like a leather tricorn hat on his head. And he has like frayed pants and he's barefoot.
And a pirate
We
king.
found the Pirate King.
So I want to put on my spectacles and look at everyone throughout the room. You know, the faux glass spectacles.
Yes, that's smart. So here's what you see. Every one of the cells has a ghost in it. The ghosts are sitting on the beds next to the people who are in the beds under their covers. Every one of those cells has a ghost in it, except for the Pirate Kings.
Huh. So, guys, I checked out everybody. Kind of spooky.
As Estroff is
Almost all of
saying
these are
this,
ghosts.
the Pirate King turns around. And he's like, am I imagining things? Are you real? Or are you specters come to haunt me? And you notice that as he turns around, his beard goes down to his belly, like just long, white, gray beard. And he kind of seems like thin and frail and older, but he definitely looks like a human man. And he walks from the window towards the bars and he sets his hands on the bars and he like is kind of like as close as he can to the bars to look at you guys. I say, are you real?
We are.
Huh.
Are you real?
Yes. Yes, please. Will you come speak with me? Do you have any food or water or perhaps some wine?
Yeah, I was going to hand him the bottle. You can have a draw or two.
He's like, you are the kindest forest gnome I have ever known. And he takes a swig of it and he's like, oh, it is delicious. And he takes another swig and he says, thank you. Would you happen to have any bread or food? We have not been fed in some time. The jail keepers here are very cruel.
I believe we still have some dried meats and bread.
Ah,
I don't think it's been that long, has it?
no, you still have food.
Yeah, sure.
Like, now that you mention it, I'm pretty hungry too. So I make him and me a sandwich. We got a nice spread right here, and we're chit-chatting. Everyone's probably still back by the door, but we're having sandwiches in the fridge.
Yeah, what do the rest of you guys do?
Watch in terror. Or awe. I could be either one.
Riff starts strumming very lightly the Ballad of Estroff Pinebark while Estroff is doing all this impressive work with the Pirate King.
Yep, this is Estroff's
He's not
moment. Let him
singing,
do it.
he's just giving the instrumental version.
Yeah, it's little background music.
That's right.
I'm gonna walk up escort style and just kind of give him the eye.
The Pirate King says, I can't remember the last time I had a visitor, or any visitors for that matter. I do not know if I shall live or not, as so many of my crew have now passed on. And he looks to either side. Yeah, and you notice there's a little twinge of like concern / fear. He says, they seem to be restful, though.
How did you get here?
So I'm gonna look back at the spirits and the ones in the beds. I'm like, their bodies are restful, but they're still here.
Ask him how he got here.
Yeah. What? Why are you imprisoned? Most everything else has been fairly magical.
Yes, well, I betrayed someone. They did not like the betrayal, and I refused to concede what I knew, and thus was imprisoned here.
That's interesting. What did you know?
My crew and I came across a strange shipwreck. Well, it looked like a shipwreck. We recovered many treasures from it, but one in particular held a certain degree of mystique to it. Our benefactor at the time, or should I say patron, wanted this treasure. Wanted it so desperately that he would have given me a commission to become an admiral of all of his fleet. I was not interested in such an agreement. You see, I began to realize the power of this thing and that I could use it to my own end. And you notice that he pauses and he kind of looks left and right again at the cells on either side of him.
And while he's kind of doing that, I'm gonna get out my stuff and start preparing to ritual cast ceremony last rites
Okay.
on at least one or two of the cells. I don't know how much time I have, but
Okay. He says, I took the magical thing for myself. I increased my power and wealth 100-fold. I became the admiral and then the king. And for a time, I was unstoppable. But you see, there is a price for everything, I suppose, and I came to understand that price.
Yeah, it sounds like it didn't go very well. I mean, for a time, maybe. Do you still have this magical thing?
He says, actually, all of you can make an insight roll.
Oof.
Natural
I got
20.
Oh, nice, because I got a 13.
The nat 20, you notice when Astroff asks if you still have the thing.
21.
Yeah, so those of you with the high rolls notice like a brief like flash of, almost like a flash of paranoia over his face. And he says, why do you ask? Did the Lich send you? I'll never give it to him. I'll die here before I give it to him.
I knew it.
A lich.
Well, I mean, he's a magic user. Won't die.
Okay.
Huh. So we are actually similar in mindset. We also want him dead. Or at least no longer not dying.
Right. We'll take mortality.
You have come to destroy him then, to
Yes,
free the tower.
Oh, yes. And we come with sandwiches.
You see he is studying you. And he looks at each one of you. He says, I believe you, Forest Gnome.
I'll butter another slice of bread because
Notice-
I'm not a
notice-
one sandwich guy.
You notice he looks over at Durant and he says, you, priest.
yes,
You are part of this fellowship.
I am.
Does the Forest Gnome speak truth? Do you seek to free the tower and destroy the Lich?
We do.
Do you know his true name?
As yet, no.
Do we need to know his true name to destroy him?
How will you know which box is his?
Yeah, it's just rude not to call someone by their name.
Well, clearly we picked the box that's not labeled with his name. For certainly he would see through such obvious.
Can we just ask him if he knows, like, it's like, yeah, do you know his name?
Of course, I worked for him. I told you that.
Would you mind telling us, please? I said, please.
Hand him another sandwich.
Sandwich.
Would his name also be considered a key? Because we are also looking for keys to get into the.
You notice his eyes
Universe.
flash to Tuco. He says, you are wiser than the last ones who came.
Tell us about the last ones, because I'm interested in hearing.
There were many. Many have come and failed. That is why I am still here. He eats the sandwich voraciously. He says,
Hand him the wine too.
this is a great last meal. He washes the sandwich down, and by now I'm saying that like it's been like at least 30 minutes. So Durant, you what is it, like 10 minutes per ritual?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, each one of these you lay the ghost to rest. You see the ghost descend into its body, and like each one of these that you've done has gone to rest. He continues to take whatever food and drink you provide him, and he is now sat down on his side of the cell.
I hope you don't mind me giving your men the rest they deserve.
He says, you should give this rest to all of them, and to me last.
Will you still tell us the guy's name?
Yes, of course. When we worked the Sword Coast, he assumed the identity of the host tower in the city of Luskin. Under that identity, he was known as Arklem Greeth.
Okay.
But there were a number of complications for him there, and he had to leave the Arcane Brotherhood in Luskin, which is how he came to be in the Sea of Fallen Stars. It was he who had the appropriate resources to fund the construction of the first fleet of pirate ships. I was one of 10 captains. And you see he looks to either side of himself, and you notice now that including his cell, there are 10 total cells. We served the Lich. He provided us with ships, weapons, and enough coin to hire as many men as we needed. And for a time, we plundered and ruled the Sea of Fallen Stars. Not even the Royal Navy of Sembia could stand us.
Did you ever cross swords with the feared Buccaneer Edwards? Griff walks up and he puts the symbol of feared Buccaneer Edwards.
He says, Edwards, feared Buccaneer. He was but a lowly scallywag boy. How much time has passed? How much time indeed?
We have a bunch of keys here that we've acquired. Any possibilities they may open your cells? One of them?
He looks to the cell. He says, there are no doors or keys. You see, we are damned, cursed to be here. And I am the last of the 10 captains.
Can you just come with us?
He preserved my life so that I might suffer. He assumed that I would go mad or starve like the others, but I am more resourceful. You see, he looks both ways, and he goes over to his bunk, and he pulls out a wad of what looks like yarn with like an old rusty hook at the end. And you see he unwinds it and he throws it out the window, and he waits. And you see he kind of like waits a little bit, and then he pulls and he starts pulling it up. And at the end of it, instead of there being a fish, there's a rat. And he pulls the rat through, and he cracks it against the stone wall. And then he splits it in half with his bare hands and starts pulling its guts apart.
Okay.
So you are the Pirate King, huh?
Is rats any good?
He says, not as good as the sandwich that you shared with me.
Okay, so he doesn't have any keys.
He says, I have the only key that matters. But there is a request that you must understand.
You're here to understand your requests.
You say that you will destroy the Lich and free the tower. But I will not go with you. I cannot. I will die here. He reaches into his vest and pulls out a gold key. And he holds it up. He says, this will lead you to the correct box in which the Lich resides. The wrong choice would likely spell your doom. I will give you my key, but you must do a task for me, and you must swear it here in the tower. You must swear it in blood, each and every one of you.
What's the task? Kill the Lich.
That which I stole from the Lich. I am the last living person who knows where it is. It must be dug up and it must be destroyed. It can only be destroyed in a furnace of a mountain, a volcano.
Is it by chance a mantle?
Some sort of ring.
Would Durant know what a phylactery is in character? That's
You can make an Arcana check.
okay. I will do that. That is a 20, not natural.
Yeah, I would say that your lore as it relates to a Lich is that there are some Liches who have achieved a level of power where they are able to essentially hide their soul in an object. And that if you were able to destroy that, it effectively destroys the Lich permanently.
So does that mean we're talking about a phylactery then?
He says,
I think it's a Horcrux.
he says, no. The Lich's phylactery is what you will destroy when you find the correct box here in the tower. You are quite close. What I speak of is the object, the orb.
What is
I
the
would-
purpose of the orb?
I would have us conduct a contract that you would swear on your blood that you will find the orb, you will take it to the volcano, and you will destroy the orb so that the Lich or none of his servants or brothers in the Arcane Brotherhood could ever use it.
Where
Is
is
the orb located in this tower?
No, the orb is on the island where I buried it. I will give you the map that you might find it.
What does the orb do?
He says, the orb preserves life and death.
While he's saying this, Riff gets out the golden orb that the lady gave him right before they came to the Mage's Tower. Does it look like this?
No. That is an object of warmth and life. This is an object of death. It is black. The darkest black that you could ever imagine. It is alive within. It speaks in a language that cannot be understood. It knows magic. It magnifies the will of those who wield it. It enhances the magic of a caster, but only as it comes to matters of death and undying.
So Estrap's going to go ahead and cut his hand and stick it through the bars. So
This sounds like an honorable quest, and we would be honored to take it on, but currently we are engaged in a quest to destroy the mage that never dies. And once that is complete, we still do not know what will become of us. So I do not know if we can honestly take on your quest.
I want to know why the Medusa wants his key.
He says, "What? You don't say that out loud, do you?"
No, not yet.
Okay. So he says, when you kill the Lich, I have no fears that should you swear the oath, you will find the island. He says, if all of you are in an accord, you will swear upon the map. And you see he reaches into the other side of his vest and he pulls out this curled up scroll. And he unrolls it. You see a map. It has various features like forest, hills. It looks like basically an island with water all around it. He says, spill but a drop of your blood on the map, and we shall have an agreement. And he holds the map and he actually passes it through to Astroff first, because Astroff already began initiating this pact.
Masters, before we do this, an oath like this is very serious. We must be true to it if we say we are. Do we have any other questions or any other no before
a little
we
late for Astroff.
Yeah,
why
I do
is-
want to ask the Medusa
Why is
question.
blood required?
Okay, why can't we just be cool
Or just
about
give you our
this?
word.
Right?
Your word is not a magical binding. Blood is. The blood will ensure that you keep your word, that you will go to the island.
Okay, I want to ask why, hey, look, we came across this Medusa, wants your key. Any reason, any idea why?
He says, are you sure it was a Medusa? It wasn't the witch?
Oh, quite sure.
Was it the witch? Did she seek to play a game with you?
No, it was a Medusa. It was one level down from here, and so I saw it very clearly. She demanded your key in return for hers.
She did. She mentioned you by name, Mr. the King.
You see he kind of like falls to his knees and he holds his head in his hands. And you see his hands shaking visibly. He says, please swear that you will do it, that you will give her the key and free her, that you will destroy the Lich. It was not her fault. When he looks up, tears streaming down his face. It was not her fault. She didn't know. And he grabs the bars. He says, please swear it and free her. She is innocent in this matter.
If we give her the key, you said the key is required to be able to kill the Lich. How can we do both?
She will tell you his true name.
You said you gave us his name.
I gave you the name that he took in service to the Arcane Brotherhood when he was in Luskin. He took many names, but his true name is only known to her. That is why he cursed her here and cursed her with that abominable existence as a Medusa. She is an innocent. She is an innocent and is not deserving of this cruel, horrific curse.
Does your key just identify which box is the Lich's? Or does it destroy that box?
The golden key will free her. And she will honor her word. She will lead you to the Lich's phylactery.
Okay, did not see this coming.
So I think I have an idea how to destroy the phylactery, but...
He says, please swear that you will destroy the orb. Swear in blood upon the map.
Durant is going to cut his hand, and he's going to say, by Daenerys' will, it will be done.
My
say
honor
there's
as
a
a
lot of blood.
warrior, I will do the same.
I'm in.
Riff?
Riff reaches into his quiver that doesn't look like any arrows in it, and he pulls one out and uses that to
No,
prick his finger.
Yeah.
Puts his blood and puts the arrow back in.
Humphrey, you seem to keep pushing your retirement away.
I know, and that's why. And you could tell, like Humphrey's like rolling his eyes. It's like, fine. I guess another freaking adventure.
But
Right.
then you can look at an island.
Yeah,
Maybe retire to that island.
it could be.
The Pirate King nods and he says, it is done then. He says, he looks to you, Astroff, and he says, you will keep the map. And now I give you the golden key. The last favor is a simple one. And he looks at Tuco. And you see he pulls his vest off and he takes his shirt off. And you see how like emaciated he is. And he says, please, I wish to die now. That the priest might say the prayers that will put my soul at rest once and for all. He
I'll
says,
begin doing that.
will you make it a swift death? And he looks to Tuco. And you see he comes up close to he puts his chest like and his neck basically right up against the bars.
Wait. You mentioned a witch in a card game. Is it important that we find this witch and play a card game with her to accomplish these quests?
No, do not engage with the witch. She is a great deceiver.
Okay. Well,
All right,
let's do
thanks.
this.
All right, Tuco.
Yeah, right. The places to be.
He closes his eyes and like just kind of looks up.
Oh, one last thing.
Great.
Jesus Christ.
Have you heard of Alyssa Honeydew?
Oh my God!
Womp womp.
So
That's gonna be his last,
Tuco, did you have your blades out?
I do have my blades out, but I tell him
Kill me too.
honor is fighting battles, but not all battles are with swords. Life in itself is a battle and must be fought. I cannot take you away from your battle. If you have a price to pay, then you must face it as a warrior.
Dang. I
do
cast
it.
Flame Blade and do it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, pause. One moment. So Durant, first of all, does Durant actually ask that?
Of course.
Okay. So as he's in this discussion with Tuco, you ask, say it again.
Have you heard of Alyssa Hanaduthis?
You guys see his head whip to Durant. And he says, How do you know her name?
Oh
And
my
Flame Blade.
God.
Yep.
Flame Blade.
What goes down?
Yeah. I mean, the
Okay.
wheels are set in motion. That's what happens.
So he said, you see him say, how do you know? And Flame Blade goes through his chest and he's like,
Perfect.
falls over and he's dead.
Riff immediately goes and just puts his arm around Durant. I'm so sorry, brother. You finally
That's all
found
right.
the right
I'm-
person.
I'm reading last rites at this point because I'm pretty
For the
upset,
dad.
but I'm trying to.
It's
mask
just
it.
like,
there's
I may
a
never get an
tear-
answer.
There's a tear going down the cheek while I'm reading last rites.
Life's cruel ironies.
You
I salute him with my sword. Sorry.
so close. You do the last rites, completing the last rites, and all 10 of the restless souls of the pirate captains are now at rest, including the soul of the pirate king. You have the map, rather Astaroth has the map, and you guys have the gold key. The gold key looks just like all the other common keys, except it's gold.
Cool.
So it sounded to me like the Medusa was his lover. He also had some kind of strange recollection of who this Alyssa Duthis is. Could the Medusa be Alyssa Duthis?
Oh my God. I like to think that Alyssa Hanaduthis is the name of the mage who never dies.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask him about the mantle, or do you guys think that doesn't exist anymore? Remember Mr.
Yeah, I know.
Shim,
Yeah.
the whole reason we're coming here in the first place?
Like, God, that tangled thread that we've twisted.
I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
don't
kind
know.
of strange that Shim funded for us and acted the same way that they're describing this Lich did.
No.
Well, the Lich, we did learn about the Lich made it possible for Shim to come over from whatever his realm of existence was.
Right.
Yeah, where this
found that out
orb
from the
is
Piper.
from. Yeah.
So I don't even know if that's
I'm trying to. Could
I don't
it
even know
be?
if that's a thing that we're looking for anymore, is the mantle, but I just remembered it.
Master, should we honor one of his last requests and give the key to the
Yeah, let's do it.
Medusa?
Let's do this.
Yeah. And
I
then
mean,
she
what's
was
the worst?
gonna,
I got an idea for how we can kill the Medusa if she wants to be ornery. So
We're
She was
telling her
gonna-
this other guy's dead.
did she
Yeah.
they say
Don't
she's going to lead us to the right tomb? How are we gonna move with her and stay fleshy?
tell her to keep
I
her eyes
cannot
on the
look at
road.
her.
She's going to turn us into stone and go
As
set
long
us
as-
in.
As long as we don't look at her and she doesn't look at us, we're probably fine.
Yeah, just okay. Let's go. Let's go down.
Don't look her in the eyes.
We have a montage scene here. Yeah.
Riff gets his mirror out just so he can have some kind of
Hey,
interaction.
man.
Durant has his shield, so.
Oh. Good. All right, let's go.
Okay.
You
So
guys
down.
go down and the door is the same. It's just as it was before.
I'll slide that key under the door.
Take it.
Uh,
I mean, what's the worst that happens? Like she takes it, doesn't give it back, and then we go in there, guns ablazing.
Okay, so you're just sliding the key under the door.
That's what I
You-
suggest.
You hear her kind of slither towards it. And you hear her say, like, you found him. You freed him.
We did, and he asked that we free you in return. But it seems like you have a bigger role to play in helping us do that.
I will help you. One moment, please. And you hear her slither away, but it sounds like quickly, almost urgently. From what you estimate to be across the room, you hear a sound, much like the sound of a key opening a door. And you hear that the door sounds very creaky, like the hinges maybe haven't been opened in who knows how long. The door opens, and you guys actually see a bright light coming from underneath the crack in the door, like bright, like sun bright, not flickering torch bright.
She ditched this.
I knew it.
About 10 seconds later, you hear like sniffling and kind of like quiet sobbing.
We knock on the door. Yeah. Hello?
Okay.
Everything all right in there?
You hear a voice, but it's not the Medusa's voice. You hear a voice of a woman. She says, "Yes, please just give me a few moments to collect myself, please." And
I cut off a piece of my robe and put it under the door as a handkerchief for her.
Aw,
you could tell
the
that
gallant gentleman.
you could tell that her voice was kind of still across the room from you guys, but about a minute later, you hear footsteps, not slithering. And
Oh, Ariel.
you see that the bright light has dimmed to a reasonable level.
It's like the nerdy girl taking off her glasses and letting down her hair.
You hear the door open.
Turn away.
The door opens, and you see a beautiful, normal woman, not a Medusa.
How many snakes are in her hair?
She has like auburn, like curly, wavy hair, not like tight curls, like one of those Irish dancer wigs, but like normal, wavy, kind of curvy, reddish auburn hair. Looks like maybe she's in her 30s, and she's wearing like a nice gown. It seems to be a bit dated, like of a fashion of maybe 100 years ago. She looks at all of you and she says, she just bows and she's like, "I am without words. I am so grateful to you. I don't know who you are, but you have done something that no one has been capable of doing in I don't know how long. I'm not certain how long I've been in this tower."
You have a name?
I do.
So when I do this,
My name is Alyssa Hanadu.
Yes.
Oh my god, I don't know what I'm
It's
doing here.
done.
Durant is like dumbstruck, and he just doesn't have words.
Oh,
He's like,
She says, I was an adept of the host tower, a student of the lore of dragons, and it is for that interest in my passion for dragon lore that I caught the attention of the Lich. His quest
Durant-
for draconic knowledge consumed him nearly as much as his interest in necromancy. And at first I thought that I was simply going to be an assistant to his research, but then I realized I was but a prisoner. And finally, when he felt that there was no more use for me, he cursed me into the existence that I had that you heard before.
Are you free of that now?
She looks down at herself. She says, I believe I am.
And then Durant like remembers something and like pulls his backpack off his back. And he's like rustling through it for a while. And he finds like this old beaten up book in the backpack. And it's like one of the first books that he had ever laid hands on.
She looks at it and she says, I know that book. I wrote that book.
I read that book. I read many of your books.
The study of the metallic dragons. They say that the dragons were not native to Faerun, that they came from another world eons ago, that they shaped the world that we have now. The Lich sought that other world, not just dragon lore, but he sought the deepest dragon lore. He sought to find the world from which they came, to somehow find that and find the source of the dragon's power. I did not realize how much I was helping him until it was too late. Now I have no idea what level of power he holds.
Have you seen it? The Dragon Homeworld.
No. I know something about it, though. I know how they came here.
I don't suppose we have time for all of this now, but could you maybe write some notes? Let me make sure I have a piece of paper first.
He's totally fangirling out.
Meanwhile, Riff sidles up and he asks her, Miss Hunter, do this. Do you know of any mantle that might be here in the tower that can be used to control dragons? We've learned that the Lich might have such an item.
She says, if he has it, he must have acquired it after he imprisoned me. My memories when I was in that cursed state are very foggy. It was like being in a nightmare all of the time. I'm not certain how much time has passed, but I do not remember a mantle by which the Lich was able to control dragons. She says, you freed Relic, yes? The Pirate King?
We did. He is no longer
He has
in
been
these
laid to
earthly
rest.
coils.
You see that she's emotionally kind of like affected, but not in the way that you would sense like a lover would be. Just like she nods and she says, a kindness that you have done for him, for he suffered longer than I did.
How did you come to be here anyway? I know he sought you.
The mage built the tower and brought together some of the greatest and most knowledgeable magi of the realms. Not all masters. Some were like me, adepts, but not quite masters. But he brought together so many talents and knowledgeable spellcasters and sages and even priests. The Mage Tower should have been a great place of learning, a beacon of wisdom and knowledge, but it became a prison. And all who opposed his desire for power became servants or prisoners or worse.
at this point, Durant is going to hand her the 2 pieces of paper he was able to find in his pack, and just whatever you think is worth carrying out of this place that you can fit on these 2 pages.
She's like,
Please
I
write.
don't know if anything is worth carrying out of her here, but I know that his phylactery is here.
Isn't there some treasure that's supposed to be around here?
She says there are likely to be many treasures, but I am least interested of what is in here and most interested in that which Relic was able to find. She says,
Why so interested?
I'm interested in the treasure, though.
she says, well, did he speak to you of the shipwreck that he found?
Briefly.
It
He
was
made us
not,
swear on our blood to destroy the orb.
she says,
Yeah,
yes, you should destroy the orb. It is an object of terrible evil. But it is just one thing that was found on the shipwreck.
Go on.
She says, I know where the shipwreck is, and I know what it is.
And what would it be?
It is not. It is not a ship that sails on the seas.
Aliens.
It's right, but inside of our hearts.
No, she says it is difficult to explain. It came not from the seas, but from the skies. It is how the dragons came here. It is the last of the dragon ships. And it is deep below the sea, in the sea of fallen stars.
How did you guys find it?
So
It was so
stunning.
deep.
She says, how did I find it? While I was doing research, I came upon a gold dragon who imparted to me the location of the last of the stars.
I would like to insight check that.
Go ahead.
I would like to offer her a drink.
Of course you would. Wine, milady.
That's a
Tip my
6
fedora.
16.
By all accounts, you sense that she is speaking truthfully.
Why would I have any doubts anyway?
Okay.
She
She's your
says,
hero.
she says I could not understand what the ancient gold dragon was trying to convey to me, or why. His draconic was very old. It was it was like a dialect of a language not spoken in thousands of years. My abilities, as extensive as they were at the time, were still, it was still a struggle to understand what he was explaining. But I came to understand that this last ship had survivors, eggs that had not hatched, eggs that were still possibly viable and in the ship,
At the
miles
bottom of
below the sea.
the ocean. Okay.
But would the dragons be good for humanity or bad? The dragon eggs.
She says, well, the metallics are good. The chromatics are bad.
Ship.
It is in their nature. That doesn't mean that they couldn't deviate from their nature. But such a thing is not common. The master, in fact, sought to control and dominate some of the chromatics. he saw in them a fierce power that he could dominate and manipulate to his own ends.
Shim.
The master? Is that another name that the mage goes by?
Well, yes, that is what most of the adepts referred to him as, because while there were many masters who once worked here, he was above all the master.
Shem were here.
What
You know of his
does-
name? You spoke his name, Shem.
Shim Tetra.
Yes.
That's the mage that never does.
That son of a.
So he wanted us to find the Pirate King. And
Do you
get
know
the
how
map.
bad I want to end this episode right now with a big FU, but I won't. We're finishing this tonight. So.
Coco, can you get the Shim player piece out of your player right now and get his ass up here?
Mhm.
Ready, player one?
Right, ready, player one.
I think we should probably deal with the phylactery before we deal with him.
Yep.
Just the,
Want a word with him?
She says, do you know which floor his lair is on?
we haven't found it yet.
There is only up.
Well, then let us go. She looks back at her and you hear her whisper under her breath. She says, I'm sorry to all of you who fell before my curse. And you see she's talking to the petrified people in the room.
And by the way, how are you not a Medusa? What happened? Did that key give you?
She points across the room, like past the floor full of statues. You see what looks like a small chamber, like a small sub room that's built out. And you notice that there's a door, and the door is closed. And she says, inside of that door was my salvation. It is a magical mirror, the only mirror that would allow me to look at myself and not become petrified, but rather to break the curse.
My lady, we aim to end this mage who never dies, but it's going to take all of our abilities to accomplish this. Are you able to defend yourself?
Are we running right now?
To be able to protect you.
She says, yes, I believe that I have my faculties.
I want to know.
I don't have a spell book with me, but I know some things still.
Okay, so what? Okay, sorry, I'm trying to replay months in my head here. Why are we in the tower at all? Right? Was it because we're trying to? Right, Shem sent us here
to gather something
right,
that
the mantle?
he couldn't get. The only thing that we know that the Lich can't get is the freaking orb.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, let's do
He's
it.
a piece of shit.
Yes, he is. He really is.
He set us up to find the Pirate King. That's what it all was about.
And he couldn't
And
do
we're
it
now
himself.
holding the map. And we're now holding the map.
This is what we
And
would
he
consider
was.
a dick move. Yes. We in the industry, adventuring industry, call a dick move. Okay,
But
let's do this.
If we go and kill him, he'll just come back to life because he's a lich. So we have to destroy the phylactery, whatever it's called, and then we can.
I've got my hammer.
Or we could
So-
kill him a few times.
I got my
Get our
hammer.
money's worth out of it.
That's true. You could enjoy this.
She follows you guys upstairs. You go past the door that led to the jail where the Pirate King resided.
If you would like to say some words, this is where we found him.
She says, was he alive when you found him or dead?
He was alive.
Early.
Did he look the same?
was a.
That's the first time we saw him. Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, over the-
she's like, I apologize. Was he a man perhaps in his 40s, handsome, well built, with a strong jaw and a clean shaven face, eyes as blue as the sky?
we should just say yes. We should just like
Some of
nod.
those
He was-
things, maybe.
Yes.
He was in shape with a rugged face
Yes.
The years were not kind to him.
and a healthy appetite.
His last thoughts were of you and how
Yes.
you did not deserve this curse.
He had a lot of free time.
She says he was kind, and he, despite many of the actions in his life and some of his more inappropriate behavior as a scoundrel and pirate, he had a good heart, and he knew that what the master was doing was wrong, and it was his desire to stop the master, but he didn't have the means. She says, let us go. And you guys continue, you go upstairs, and you are at the top of the tower. The stairs end at a landing, and this landing actually has two doors. There's one to the right and one to the left.
I want to take out my crystal ball and say, will the door to the right lead us to the mage faster?
Yes.
The door to the left.
Yes.
Okay. I
You
tell
asked to the mage faster. Maybe we want to find the phylactery faster.
Oh, right. Well, there you go. The mage is to the one to the right.
I mean, can you ask again, or is it like?
I mean, sure, I could try. I mean, at some point, my
I would
Bill's
just like to
patience going to run
clarify
out. But
I would just like to clarify the word phylactery and not mage. That was the primary thing.
Okay. You
Okay.
ask again. How do
I'll
you
ask that. How would you like me to ask this, Durant?
Ask, does the door to whatever direction you said earlier
Right.
lead to the phylactery?
Yeah, I proceed to
Quickly.
do so. Right.
The door to the right does not lead to the phylactery.
I pass that on. Magic 8-Ball says no.
I opened the one on the left.
Okay. It is not locked.
I say we go this way.
Okay.
You open the door to the left, and you see a well-lit, magically well-lit room. Like there are floating orbs of soft colored light. And the room is wall-to-wall shelving, and on every shelf is an identical wooden box. So there are at least a few thousand small wooden boxes.
Can we smash them all? Can I like burn the place with a fireball or something?
I've got my spectacles on.
Right.
You put the spectacles on, make a perception check with advantage.
Ooh, nice. That'd be a dirty 20.
All of these boxes actually contain things. Like different kinds of objects. But none of the boxes in this room are the phylactery.
Is there any reason to think if we opened one, it would be bad news?
Let's see. Do the spectacles? The spectacles don't reveal that.
I'm going to investigate the shelves to see if there's anything specific, like labels on the shelves or anything like that.
Okay, as you get closer, you notice that each box on a shelf has a small piece of paper, like a label, next to it with a number. So like it's methodically, like, 00001, 00002, 00, like.
Okay, so none of them contain what we're looking for. Is this?
You haven't opened any of them, but
So
according
Lista, do you know where the phylactery is? Are we going in the right direction?
she says it's in one of the boxes.
So we are in the correct room.
She's like, perhaps. I don't know if this room or the other room has the correct box, but
What is the master's true name? Or if you told us and I wasn't listening.
Shim Tetra.
her name is
Just-
Petra.
Okay. Riff does this.
Can
He
Petra have any significance in terms of number?
Are you asking me as a human, or are you asking that rhetorically so that
I'm asking it as the group for input.
I have.
Does Tetra mean some kind of number?
Yeah, I want to hear what Riff had was about to say.
I was going to say Riff just kind of quiets himself and pulls the old truck out of his hat, puts his hand on the birthmark on the back of his neck, and he tries to concentrate and hear and remember the tune that the piper had been playing along the way.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh gosh. You're not gonna believe it, but I just got my third natural 20.
You kidding me?
All right.
Clutch.
Yeah, natural 21. It's amazing.
It
Hope I didn't just break the game.
no, I won't say that you broke the game, but I will give you an enormous hint.
This one.
Okay. And this is something that I can share, some kind of vibe that Riff
Sure.
got.
Yeah, it's a realization that you feel pretty confident about.
And I kind of was thinking along those lines anyway. So Tetra has a definition of having 4 parts or 4. So if the number 4 means anything from what we know of Shim and what we're looking for, maybe that'll help us find something, if not his phylactery.
So now I would say, Durant, you can make an investigation check as you were studying the shelves.
Or okay.
So not just the number 4, but possibly also having 4 parts. Maybe
That's
it's split up.
dirty 20.
Okay. So as I said, you notice that the paper labels that are in front of each box on the shelves have 0001, 0002. So you see that there are 4 digits, conceivably meaning that there could be 9,999 total boxes maximum, right? Using the 4-digit numbering system that is currently in place.
Okay.
4 4s.
Shem
Or
is
maybe-
4 letters.
But Shim's also a wedge, so maybe it's slightly increasing up to 4. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4. He always forgot which box, so he went the old school password method.
Right. Password is password.
So with that investigation check, you kind of begin looking at the shelving units and how many of these wooden boxes fit on each shelf and how many shelves there are in each shelving unit. And you begin to calculate that in this room, there are there are approximately 4,999 boxes in this room. Just one short of 5,000.
Does that
He's
mean
straight
in the
up Raiders
room-
of the Lost Ark us.
Light the place on fire.
Does
burn 'em
that
all.
mean in the other room
5,000.
there are 5,000? And is the one different, the one we're looking for?
Do you go to the other room?
Not
don't think
alone,
we
I
should-
don't.
We were told that the phylactery is this way, but the mage is that way.
No, we were told the mage was that way and the phylactery wasn't that way.
Correct.
Oh,
For all we know, the phylactery is in a jail cell
It's inside
or
us
with
the
a
whole
witch.
time.
Yeah, the phylactery was with our friends the whole time.
It was the friendships we made along the way.
Alyssa says, I don't think it would be with a witch. The master never trusted her. That's why he imprisoned her here. After she served her purpose, he kept her locked inside the tower.
Do you know
I
what
wanna-
her purpose was?
It had something to do with the moon.
so the lich is not the mage of the Never Sleeps?
No,
Wait.
he is.
He
He
is.
does die.
He
He's
never
allowed to
died.
sleep, by the way.
And the witch is the
he can
witch who
sleep.
never leaves.
Never died. Yes.
Right.
sorry.
It's a king who doesn't sleep. The mage who never dies. And
So
a
I'm
group
going to
that-
go ahead and poke a random box.
Okay, you hear something move inside.
Like move around scurry or like
No,
roll
like
around after a
something was
box.
in it and you poked it and it was like,
I want to get it and like open it,
Open it
close
up.
it real quick. And then like
there was something shiny inside.
Ooh.
I touch it.
Right. Which box did you open?
Number
What?
one.
Pick a number between 1 and 4,999.
Well, being that it's on the lower shelves, I'd say it's probably somewhere around, let's say 1,493.
Solid choice.
1,493 it is. You find a sapphire worth 150 gold.
I start opening up boxes.
Not a phylactery.
Okay. You guys just start.
I'm
Opening
going
things?
to.
I will. Sure. Why the
I'm
hell
going to
not?
consult.
It's all treasure. Literally.
gonna-
Now,
Yep.
some of it isn't like gems. You know, some of it's like some odd kind of trinkets. Like there's little like figurines carved in ivory, and there's
30
you know,
bags of holding here.
but they're no, nothing big. These boxes, these boxes are only like 6 by 6 by 6 by 8. You know what I mean? Like they're not huge.
I want to stuff my pockets and bags with as much as
Okay.
I can.
I'm going to actually have a discussion with Dak through the scarf.
Ah, all right. The wisdom
I'm
of a
still
father.
stuffing my still stuffing my
This-
pockets.
Doesn't
Okay.
seem right to me.
We need to find the phylactery and the
You're-
treasures.
As you are meditating, wrapped in the long scarf, your mind's voice responds to you about your instinct that this doesn't seem right. And the voice says, well, what do you mean by right? If you mean that these treasures are somehow a trick or a trap, they're not. They are as real as they feel. But if you mean morally right, well, think about where all these treasures came from. He probably took them from people, maybe even killed folks to take these treasures. What he needed them for, who knows? Maybe his own self-aggrandizement. Who can say?
We're going to hide a phylactery in this room.
Well,
Where would the best hiding place be?
you're a smart boy. You always have been. You and your brother know things. And if you put your heads together, I'm sure you could figure it out.
Thanks, Dad.
What if we wrote 5,000 on one of the labels?
Right.
Do you go to the far side of the room?
Yes.
Yeah, starting
Okay.
to search for anything else in that area.
All right. You get to the farthest away from where you guys entered, the furthest shelf. And you get down to 4,999. And there's one empty spot, like as if these shelves total would have fit 5,000. And that
I
empty
reached in
spot, that empty spot doesn't have a box on it.
What if we put a box on it?
You move a box over. Nothing.
Yeah, just take.
You've successfully moved a box.
Hmm.
Okay.
Is there like dust there?
Oh,
like,
should you investigate to
empty?
see? Yeah.
Nope.
What about your glasses? Do the glasses show anything about that empty space?
No, the glasses, like we're more about
Oh.
can this space be
Like a
trusted?
friend or foe?
Why don't I do
Yeah.
this? I want to take my crystal ball and I say, is the phylactery in this room?
Yes.
Good talk.
Riff.
We need to
Brother.
want the phylactery, but not use it. Like the
If
sorcerer
you were
stone.
going to hide something
right.
in this room,
A basilisk.
All right, hold on. Say that over again, Durant.
Riff, brother, if you were going to hide something in this room and you're going to be really sneaky about it, where would you hide it?
Riff looks around the room again. Is there anything else in here besides the boxes and the drawers?
No.
What is the floor like?
It's the same smooth stone floor.
So like no stones sticking out proud
Nope.
or anything like that?
No
Okay.
patterns.
And the ceiling is roughly intact and generally like the top of a tower.
Oh.
Yes.
I've got locate object. I wonder if that can help. Or do I have to be like familiar with it?
Good question. That is maybe the most important question of this session right now.
That is familiar to you.
Yeah.
I
So
think
it is
you have
not.
had to see it before.
You're right.
But
Well, we
could
were
sh-
told what it was though.
could she
And I-
cast it?
She says, I don't know what his phylactery looks like.
Alyssa, baby, come on.
Listen, baby, come on,
Um,
honey.
How large is the room? Would one cast of fairy fire cover?
Oh, that's a good one.
What's the range on Fairy Fire?
I believe it's 60 feet. Let me look real quick.
It says alternatively, the locate object spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon.
Oh.
Or box.
So
Oh,
locate
okay.
phylactery. Okay. Find me the nearest phylactery, please.
You have to specify what the object is. Saying
Okay.
locate phylactery is like saying locate magic object.
Yes,
How
You
about
still have to
locate-
know what the object is.
Find the nearest magic object.
Right.
Actually,
How about
Ask-
locate box 5,000?
okay. Well, yeah, sure. Locate my nearest box 5,000.
Okay, I'll give it to you. You
You're
blow
like, you
through a
guys
spot.
suck.
You blow through a spot, and box 5,000 is in the room next door.
Okay.
Why didn't we go into the other room? I still
But
don't
box
remember.
5,000 is
Because
in the room
Shiv
next
is in
door, but
there.
that's not. Hold up. The orb, sorry, my crystal ball said it's in this room. The box 5,000 is in the other room. So whatever's in box 5,000 is not what we're looking for.
And then the Pirate King said that there would be labels with the names of the different, false names and the true name of the mage or the lich.
Yeah, good
He's-
point.
So the
Very-
numbers have to be related to the name somehow. I just don't know how that is. And there's got to be 4 parts, and it has to be something to do with the number 4.
Shem has 4 letters in it. Could that somehow correspond to numbers?
Can we go
If
4,
you,
4, 4,
yeah,
4?
if you jack with the numbers, it could be 5, 4, 1, 3. If you jack with
But
the letters
5
a
would
little
be in
bit.
the other room,
But it,
or 5,000 would be in the other room.
Burn them all to the ground.
I just know Estrop's ready to face this guy.
3
He's
and
pissed off.
4,000 would be in this room.
2,000 and 3,000 would be if you open them together.
Okay, so it's in the room. 5,000 is not the. So we can rule out box 5,000. That is not the box that we're looking for. That's not the phylactery.
Wait. We know it's not in the next room over from the hallway. We don't know that there's not a secret door from this room over.
Hold on. So the crystal ball said the phylactery was in this room.
Yes.
No, it said it wasn't in the other room.
No, I asked it again.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. It says it's in this room. And 5,000's in another room.
Yes.
So 5,000's not what we're looking for.
Unless it's the key to find it in this room.
Touche. Okay. I'm wondering if I could do another locate object and phrase this better. Because we don't know it, isn't it? But we know it's a box, right?
Yep. Well,
Must to do this. Are you familiar with what the phylactery might actually be? A box, a vase, a
says
bottle?
it is likely to be an object. He may have protected the object so that it cannot easily be broken. That could also include perhaps being in a box that is warded or somehow protected against
Locate
being
objects.
opened or
So,
smashed
like,
or destroyed.
Detecting something magical could be maybe a good idea.
She says, yes, I remember that spell. She casts detect magic and she's like, oof,
Everything.
a
in the
lot of
room-
magic in here. She's
Plus
like,
the room
not everything,
itself.
but there's a lot.
Gotcha.
Well, isn't the room itself technically magical too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Master Durant, maybe we're close to something, but maybe instead of
Sorry
magic, it
about
is
that.
good or evil.
Jesus.
I mean, I could try it.
Can we start smashing
detect.
boxes?
I'll try detect evil.
Who? I
It's a stretch, but I'll allow it.
The reason I was going to do fairy fire is it can illuminate invisible things.
I like that idea.
I was thinking it could be invisible.
you do it and there's nothing invisible in the room.
Super. One
I'm
spell.
gonna look for
slot gun.
doors or hideaways along the walls.
You do, there's nothing.
Hmm.
Does anybody go into the room next door at all?
I'm about ready
I
to.
was hoping we could
don't
for like the
want
last
to.
20 minutes.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
I get
Estroff,
fed up and I walk outside and go to the other door.
you go to the other door.
Open it.
Stab myself
Everyone
in the
else,
heart.
everyone else is all looking in boxes. They haven't noticed the little gnome leave.
That room
I'm like
is,
jiggling with like jewels and coins and stuff.
that room is identical. It picks up when you walk in, shelving unit. How would you see this though? Because you're short. All right, you figure it out by looking at the lower level shelves that this is 5,000, 5,001, 5,002, 5,003, and that this goes all the way around and you walk all the way around. And the last box in the second room is 9,999.
Well, shit.
Yep. Yeah. Great work, guys. Good. Giving us double the
I start
problem.
with 5,000.
Well, no, but we
Open
know
it
it's
up.
in the other room. Like we
More
know the
treasures.
phylactery.
You find
Yeah.
like a little platinum carving figure. Like just every single box has some treasure in it.
I cast Blame Blade and I start just hitting boxes walking down the shelf.
Yep. I'm grabbing my hammer and I'm just. But hold on. But I want to go into the other room and do it because that's
But
where
it's
we know
not-
that the phylactery is.
It's not necessarily the boxes that we have to destroy. We have to destroy an object that's probably within the boxes.
Yeah. Every
We have to
every
get rid of
box-
all the treasure in here.
Every box has one object in it.
Mhm. And I don't
This-
find anything
this
that leads me to
upsets
believe it might help.
because I don't want to
I
destroy
mean,
treasure.
here's a thought: knock everything onto the floor in a big pile. cast
Fireball.
Dispel Magic, and whatever's left has to be the phylactery.
That's
You know
true.
what? Fuck it. Let's do it.
I mean, it's the nuclear option, but
Let's do it.
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, it's a
So
lot.
just to be clear, you understand that these other objects are all real, actual treasures.
They could be magical as well, right?
Some of them are magical.
we might actually want to keep some once we
Okay.
figure out the thing. Could
That'd still be worth something.
Shim?
I'm just going to say this. Don't ever complain that I don't give you enough treasure, because all of you all have there's a million gold worth of treasure right now. You can't even carry it all. But
I've already packed my bag full of as much as I can.
yeah, so basically the way I'm going to figure it out is, what is your literal weight allowance? I'm going to look up your weight allowance for what you can carry based on your strength. And then I'm going to calculate how much value you're carrying if you say, I'm loading up on treasure.
And we're loading
you
up on
can't-
treasure.
You can't put it all in a room and destroy it and also walk out with treasure. So
Well,
yes.
you have to logistically figure out what you're doing here.
Humphrey,
we have to
it's
figure
blood
out how
money,
to identify
man.
the
It's
box.
blood money.
but it's already, that blood has already been spilled.
So here,
Well,
so
might as well have
here's
something good come up from
Look,
it.
here's an idea, guys. If and I don't know if someone said this, but did someone talk about Shim has four letters in
Yeah.
his name? Is there any way we can extrapolate that to, I don't know, picking four boxes out that would go with?
Well,
Those
what
letters.
position is S in the alphabet? HEM.
We could try
That
that.
wouldn't work
That's just
because
really high.
Yeah.
you'd have to work on a system of 0 through 9,
We're gonna
and
use
there's 26 letters.
Unless it's a
hexadecimal.
coordinate, like within this a shelf.
Oh my god.
What do you guys remember about Shim? What did he do? What did he talk about doing?
Wait, what
I mean, you're
keys?
the one who could mimic him.
What keys didn't we get? What number keys did we not
Humphrey
get?
turns around and goes home.
I guess.
Where are those
Hey,
red
guys.
shoes?
There's keys we didn't get. There's numbered keys we didn't get.
Oh,
What numbers were those?
2, 3, 4,
6, 8, and 9.
6, 8, and 9.
So what about 0, 6, 8, 9?
Well, technically speaking, you did get 6. 6 was the gold key.
Oh,
Oh.
That's
And we
clever.
did get
And technically speaking, you didn't get key number 9, but you made it. Durant
Oh, right.
made it out of clay.
Yeah, it's probably not the key numbers.
hmm.
so we're still missing 8 though.
Everyone's deciding. I'm still pulling boxes out.
All right, so Riff does remember Shim's weird voice, and he says, "Well, come to me, my phylactery. Come to my hand now."
Oh, that is the greatest thing ever.
Okay, I got an idea.
Me, Shim, your master, calls you.
Nothing.
The room is eerily silent.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this the hard way.
Wait. Let's
hold
see
up.
what his.
Well, so I want to go to the crystal ball, and I want to look. It said, "Is the phylactery on this side of the room?" And I'll like point to the, I don't know, the north side or whatever might be the north side.
Yes.
Okay, so it's on this side. Go in here. Is it on the left half of this side?
Basically, your crystal ball narrows down that it is in this room.
What if it is the room? It's a really big phylactery.
Wait.
Start hammering the walls.
Oh wait, so it's okay. So it doesn't tell me if it's in one quadrant of the room. It just says it's in the room.
4 walls, right?
No, not really, because it's a semicircle.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that's why I misunderstood. Okay.
1, 2.
Like the
well,
tower, it's a circular tower, and at the top you have one side and another side, but each of those is a semicircle.
but we also have the floor and the
Okay.
roof.
So if I look above the shelves, is there any kind of labeling above the shelf
Nope.
or above the shelf unit? I guess.
Nope.
How many shelf units are there?
In each room.
50 boxes per shelf times 10 is more than
500.
I want to believe that anybody who's watching this recording in the future is just going to be screaming at their.
They will be.
Right
I am certain that they will be.
Like, you guys are so dumb.
So my math, I think my math is correct here. There's 100 boxes per shelving unit and 50 shelving units. Yeah, that's about right. So it's 5,000. There are 5,000 spots per room, right? The room that you're in right now that the crystal ball has indicated has 4,999 boxes. The other room has the other 5,000.
Is it likely?
So there are a total of 9,999 boxes.
But we know it's on this side.
Yeah.
Is it likely that the box with the phylactery will be trapped? As a general question.
Well, that's what Alyssa thought. Because it would be.
So I have a handy dandy second level spell called Find Traps.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm going to cast that. In the room, obviously, where we know that is.
The whole tower lights up.
Right.
I need to see the spell type, so give me a second. All right, it's a divination spell, and it does detection. The spell would sense an area affected by alarm or glyph of warning, or a mechanical pit trap, but not reveal a natural weakness in the floor, unstable ceiling, or sinkhole. Okay. You find 500,000. I can't do the math. On one of the shelving units, you sense that one of the boxes has a glyph, a magical glyph of warding on it.
What number is it?
It is box number 4,444.
That's what I said from the start. Oh!
You get a -2 inspiration, Humphrey, because you did not follow your instinct.
I lose my inspiration. I have to roll a disadvantage for my next roll. Great. Outstanding.
The box is identical to all of the other boxes that you guys have opened, looked at, smashed. The only difference
is it's now on fire.
A very subtle difference is that you see a small mark magically inscribed on where the box opens, like the lid opens.
I'd like to take a brief second to recognize Eric's coming to our rescue with that clutch move here. He rescued us from our own idiocy.
Yes.
Thank you.
I don't know. I was playing along with being an idiot for the whole time. So yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. You were just trying to slow it down with
totally,
us.
Totally. I totally wasn't an idiot myself.
Okay, what do we do about this box?
Smash it with a hammer? I got the hammer.
Well, it's got a glyph of warding, right?
It does have a glyph of no hammer.
It does. It has a glyph of warding.
That means I can't hit
So
it with a
we
hammer.
don't want to be near it. Perhaps somebody has a hand that can open it from a distance.
Well, I might have a hand myself. Or I could look at Riff, and maybe Riff would like to do the honor.
Or maybe the hammer is what's going to dispel the.
No, I think
ordinary ass hammer.
you had that you had the right feeling and you just weren't quite confident to go with it, Humphrey. So I think you should have the honors.
Thank you for the honor.
And
I'm
you have the
killing
hammer.
myself. That's right. Okay, I will use my mage hand and mage hand
Maybe-
this.
Should we get outside of the room through the door first and do it like?
Okay.
Wait, I want
Everybody-
to cast protection from energy on Humphrey while he's doing this.
Okay.
Hmm.
Go. I cast invisibility on myself.
That's a good point. I think I'll also add resistance into that mix just in case. on Humphrey.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this. Mage hand.
You mage hand and open it, and a bright green light appears, and a spirit manifests. And it looks basically like a terrifying zombie / skeleton, but it is definitely a ghostly spirit.
Can I hit it with a hammer?
Well, so it's, you guys are, like you said, you're 30 feet away from it, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. It just starts like floating towards you, and it extends its hands. Roll
Turn
initiative.
undead.
Roll initiative, he says.
Turn undead it is. Game on.
He
No-
just screams
no
out,
natural
"Turn
20.
it."
No natural
Um,
Oh,
20.
I got a natural 20.
Okay, so hold your initiative. Keep it for a second. Eric, I need to know what your turn undead effect is, because this is not a weak undead.
Yeah, it's probably not going to work then. Give me 2 seconds to find that.
Oh, I've never seen Shem, but I got major image. If I'd seen Shem, I could make it a fake Shem.
My turn undead.
Yeah, I should have done
at
that.
8th is well, destroy is. Let's see here.
Do you have
Turn
major image?
undead. Each undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails its saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. A turned creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can.
It
It
wins.
can't- Okay.
I rolled a 20.
All right. Well,
Ah. So
Oh, there
initiative
goes.
then.
So
Initiative,
it's
then.
time for initiative. Yes.
Okay, 24.
I got an
Okay.
8.
Riff, what do you have?
14.
Okay, so Humphrey has 24, Riff has 14, Esroff has what?
8.
8.
I got a
Chuko
rock.
8.
and Durant.
22.
How big is the space that we're in?
The distance between the door and this thing is about 30 feet from you guys. And then
Makes
you
a
were,
sailing.
you were on the
Oh.
landing of the stairs that you guys are out between the two doors of this level is like 10 by 10.
Ceiling height?
10.
Okay.
You're in a 10 by 10 cube.
Great.
Okay, so it is floating towards you with its hands extended, and green glowing strange eldritch things are about to shoot out of its fingers. But Humphrey, you are so quick on the draw that you were able to go.
I want to cast invisibility.
Ah. Okay, actually you do.
And then am I able to move as a?
Yes.
So then I want to move to the as far as I can to the right. So I don't know if that's like 30 feet or something. Or
Into the other room, or are you going downstairs?
no, I don't want to leave the room. I just want to get the hell out of the way because it's coming right at me, right?
So you're going to stay in the phylactery room, but just go around away from it.
Correct. I want
Okay.
to, yeah.
I will say you can do that.
Okay.
Okay. It is going to extend powers of strange eldritch things shooting out of its hands. The first blast will hit a 19 against. I need to roll a d6. Sorry, Oh, I forgot she's there too. Oh, what if Alyssa died?
I would be heartbroken.
I'd
Let's
blame
how to
Eric.
don't this.
Right? Boom.
This goes on Riff for 19. You need to make a con save, DC 14.
Grant, you have resurrect for Alyssa?
I have revivify if we can find a diamond in this room.
Nope. 9.
Okay, so Riff, you're going to take 18 points of necrotic damage, and you are frightened. You start running away. Next turn, you'll be able to make another save to be unfrightened. But you basically use your full movement to run down the stairs or into the other room across the hall. Your choice.
Can I use counter charm?
Oh.
Or on my turn to stop being frightened? Or actually, it gives advantage on saving throws, being frightened or charmed.
I'll let you counter charm and roll a second roll for this saving throw.
Oh, okay.
There's got to be a diamond in this room somewhere.
Nope. Failed.
Okay.
So you said 18 damage? So
18 necrotic, and
Okay.
you haul ass.
And I'm running away, sure.
Okay. It is it's finished its move. It is now Durant did turn on dead. Riff, your turn is next, actually. So you could make an active attempt to roll a save to be not frightened.
Okay. Can I also say, wait, it is me, your master. Why are you doing this?
Nope, you can't. You're terrified.
No.
All right,
It was
so
just
that's,
embarrassing.
that's better. 17.
Right?
I got a 17.
Okay. I'll say that you got about 30 feet down the stairs, and then you kind of come to your senses and realize that like your friends and your brother need you, and you start heading back up. It is Tuco's turn.
How far away am I?
It's about 10 feet away from you now.
Okay, I'm gonna close and attack with my swords.
Okay. Remind me again what your swords do. Are they magical? Are they?
My scimitars +1, and then just a regular short sword.
Okay. Carry on.
They're sharp.
Yeah, they're really sharp though.
7, 16.
The 16 will hit.
Okay, and then that's 1d8 +4.
And this is the scimitar.
Yes. 5 points of damage.
Okay.
And then I'll go with the second strike,
Okay.
the short sword. 14 +7, 21.
That's a hit.
That's 1d6 +4. 8 points of damage.
Cool. All right. It is now Estroff's turn.
All right. Estroff casts Moonbeam at 4th level.
Oh, you son of a gun.
So that'll be 4 d10s. And the spell save for that would be 15.
Is that radiant damage? Son
Yeah.
of a. All right. It has to make
One hits this.
it has to make a con saving throw
Against 15.
against 15. All right,
Yeah.
here we go. Oh my god. It failed.
That's
I rolled a 1. It has a 2, so it had a total of 3. So let's go ahead and tell me the damage that you inflict upon it.
22.
Oh,
22 radiant.
Yeah.
It screeches at you. It's like, ah! It's just, you see it like just part of it seemed to be like disintegrating and almost like glitching and then like reappearing. And it's green glow kind of like flickers almost like a strobe as the radiant moonbeam light like just showers it. Top of the order, Humphrey, you're back.
okay, we'll bring out that firebolt.
It seemed to you, as you were perceiving this, that actually make an Arcana check first.
Okay.
Aren't you invisible?
17. I am, but
Yeah, he's
oh
invisible.
right.
He's invisible. So this is what you perceive with your 17. You perceive that it looked like the most damage that this thing took was from the radiant damage inflicted by Astroth's Moonbeam spell. It seemed to take some damage from Tuco's scimitar,
Great.
but not from his other sword.
Okay. Well, I have either a dagger or firebolt or fireball. That is literally all I got. So
Okay.
I am going to
Firebolt.
probably firebolt this thing.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Just really nervous there for a second.
Right. Fireball. That's why I asked the size of the room. No.
But you're not supposed to do that. You're just
Right.
supposed to go.
Just supposed to go full set. Dirty 20.
Oh, that'll hit. Damage.
Okay. Let's here's the dice. Okay. Oh hey. 13.
Don't you get multiple firebolts at that level?
It's 2d10.
Oh yeah.
Okay, 13 it is. It reaches out with one claw, it's going to rake Tuco, and with the other claw, it's going to rake its new enemy Estroff. So claw number 1. Hitting 21.
That
Tuco,
hits.
Tuco, you're going to make a Constitution saving throw.
19.
Oh, you make it. You take 11 necrotic, but you are stalwart and you do not flee in terror.
Word of the day.
Can I use uncanny dodge?
Oh, I suppose you could. Yes. So you take half of that.
So it's 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Estroff. 21 to hit. Wow. That's going to be. Go ahead and make a con saving throw.
Let's see. Yeah, that's a 13.
Okay. You're going to take 22 necrotic damage, and you're going to flee in terror. So you tear ass away from this thing, running down the stairs as Riff is running up the stairs, and it is now literally Durant's turn.
High five as we pass.
Tag, you're in. Clarification on rules here, Bill.
Yes.
I don't know which rules you follow here. So if I have a spell that I can cast as a bonus action and a spell that I can cast as an action, can I cast them both in one turn?
Technically, I think that's not a thing, unless the bonus action spell is a reaction. Like if it's, but I'm pretty sure you can't do that.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
I might be wrong. There might be people like, why did you let Durant die? He could have done it.
This is fine. So
This is fine.
So is there? Are we outside the room, inside the room? Like,
Oh, you're
what is
inside the
spatial
room.
Positioning here.
You're inside the room, but it is approached those of you who were kind of backed up off the door.
Aren't there props?
Okay, so I'm thinking about casting Magic Circle. So what I need to know is, like, can I put
Grab
it
it.
in such a radius that it prevents forward motion toward, say, Tuco to give him some cover. So in other words, I would cast it for undead. Okay, then
So a 10-foot radius puts it. You would basically block the door. Oh, it's a casting time of 1 minute. Wow.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Hold
Yeah,
on.
I
I guess I'm not going to do that. I don't have time for that, so never mind.
That'll help us next episode.
Yeah,
Right.
right. Instead, Yeah, instead I'm going to approach it. I'm going to burn my bonus bonus action to cast what is it? Spiritual weapon. And I'll put a giant book behind the creature to smack it when I have such time. And it will say Alyssa Hanaduthis on the spine. And it'll have the wings.
All right, that works. Go ahead.
And then I'm positioning myself toward the front. And I'm just going to take a swing at it with my action with the short sword.
Okay, now that is the master crafted short sword, but it is not magical.
It's listed as +1, but yeah, it may not be magical.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not sure.
non-magical. It's the yeah. Okay,
well,
so you
that's
attack, you swing at it, and your weapon doesn't do any damage.
Okay, fair enough. Do I also get to make an attack with the spiritual weapon, or do I have to wait until next turn for that?
Next turn.
Okay, fine.
It's there. It's ready.
Okay.
All right, Riff, you're up. You burst through to see your half brother bravely stepping up and swinging. You see a spectral book with wings, like floating just behind the weird phantom.
Yep. So Riff's going to do 3 very specific things, starting with mental inspiration as a bonus action. He takes on a wondrous appearance of a being of pure light just to get into this thing's head. And that's going to give each of you guys, I'm not sure if Estroff is close enough, but everybody gets 8 temporary hit points.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's close enough. And you'll be able to move out immediately without getting attacked if you're close enough to the thing for getting attacked with opportunity.
Thanks, Papa
So you
Riff.
can choose to move. The second thing I'm going to say is somebody grab that phylactery and get it away from that thing. And then the third thing is Riff is going to start casting Layman's tiny hut.
Okay.
Wait, it's
So,
holding the
If
phylactery?
possible. As an action.
Thing number 1 gives you guys that extra free movement. Now, I will say that might be attached to thing number 2, but the person who is currently closest to the shelf upon which that box was sitting is actually Humphrey, because he went around, remember, to go inside when he was invisible.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought he was going to grab it being invisible. And
So he's
That would
actually
make way too much
closest-
sense.
He's actually closest to the box. He can get there with your additional movement bonus.
I would like to.
Tuco and Durant are kind of, holding the door, so to speak, and Estroff's hauling ass downstairs.
right. And then how about the starting to cast Layman's tiny hut?
Alyssa is going to. She doesn't have a spell book and she doesn't have any spells. She just has.
Just cantrips.
Yes, she does.
I mean, there's some pretty decent cantrips.
She is going to use Mage Hand, and she flips the box open, and out from the box falls a statuette, and it falls right at your feet. It doesn't shatter on the floor. It falls right at your feet, Humphrey. The statuette appears to be a very simple sculpture of maybe a marble or granite, some kind of stone. And it seems to just be a tall, thin male figure.
Whose turn is it?
Well, Riff begins casting Lehman's tiny hut,
Which takes a minute.
which
By
is
the way.
going to take a minute. So it is now going to be Tuco's turn.
Okay.
So the thing is right next to you and Durant right now.
So as a bonus action, I'm going to rage.
Okay.
Maybe wasting it, and then am I close to the phylactery?
No. The phantom is between you and that side of the room.
Right, but because of the, I can move away from him without attack of opportunity, right?
Yes. If you want to move past through him to the other side where Humphrey is, you could use that benefit that you got from the Mantle of Inspiration, and then you can rage.
And is it close enough then for me to
Sure.
get to it?
Yeah, you
Okay,
can get
so-
to it with the free movement.
Yep.
And then bonus action to rage. And now you still have your action.
My action, I'm going to pick it up and throw it to Humphrey and say, "Hey, boss, is it hammer time?"
All right, I'll give you an inspiration for that.
Can't touch this.
That's right.
But when you throw it, you're not. I mean, he's literally 5 feet away, so you kind of just pick it up and hold it up.
Okay. Yep.
I drop it and it breaks.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Me?
Yes.
Constitution. 9 + 6, 15.
Are you raging?
Yes.
Does that matter?
Not against this kind of damage. You take 43 psychic damage.
Holy shit.
Uncanny dodge?
Nope, you can't uncanny dodge a mind fuck. You fall to the ground, and you are currently paralyzed.
Well,
8 points from 43. That was my temporary. So that is 35 real, right?
Yep. 35 psychic damage. And you are currently paralyzed.
Worth it.
Worth it.
All right.
Thanks for bringing it 5 feet closer to me.
This brings us to Estroff. Estroff, you have to make a wisdom save to break free of the terror.
All right, that is nice. So that would be 23.
You got it. You come to your senses.
Nice.
You're a floor below. You're kind of like, where the Pirate King was. You start heading back up.
Yes. I'll probably look over towards his cell. I can hear his voice. He's like cheering me on. Like I have a emotional moment. I'm like, I can do this. Turn around.
All right. That brings us to top of the order, Humphrey. Your most devoted compatriot is on the ground, like his eyes glazed over. He is literally just like frozen, seemingly paralyzed. And the object rolled out of his hands. It's on the ground, but it's in front of you.
Could I take out my hammer and hit it without touching it myself? Then this is either the best or the dumbest idea, guys. So
okay,
I'm going to do it.
You grab the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to have you make an attack roll because you're hitting an inanimate object. So you like go down to it, you swing down, and as the hammer hits it, it smashes the figure. And all of you guys hear a sound kind of like a large bell, like at a temple, like a huge bell, like dong. And the statue smashes into a group of pieces. And as it does, all of you, the rest of you guys, Humphrey, you don't see this part because your back is to it, but the rest of you guys see the phantom creature. As the bell tolled, it begins to disintegrate into pieces. And within seconds, it is gone.
I ain't scared of no ghosts.
It was hammer time.
Who are you gonna call?
Right?
Humphrey, humble bottom.
You see that Tuco is still paralyzed.
Leave him. No.
A few moments after this has been destroyed, there's kind of this like eerie silence again.
And he's still paralyzed.
Yeah.
Guys, get close to me. Hoping to get this this hut up as quick as possible.
I'm going over to
Yeah,
Tuco for
let's-
Yeah,
sure.
pull him
Let's
over.
heal Tuco.
Okay.
Also, someone stand watch because I don't know if we've got a minute to spare or however much time is left.
Alyssa like helps you guys bring Tuco over towards Riff, and you guys kind of gather around. As you are casting Leomund's tiny hut, I'm going to say that each one of you have 5 rounds to do something before the hut is cast. Humphrey, what are you doing during your 5 rounds?
Oh, bollocks. I'm taking a long rest. No. I don't know, honestly. I guess I'm trying to figure out how I could help,
Okay.
Tuco.
Tuco, you can't do anything. Rip. Estroff, what are you doing during your 5 rounds?
Definitely checking that other room on my way in, which I'm sure will be around as I try to come the rest of the way up in there. After that, if there's anything I can do for Tuco, cure wounds, things like that our local cleric can't do, I'll do it.
Okay. So just to be clear, you have like 30 seconds. So you peek in the other room, you see rows upon rows, shelves of boxes, many of which you smashed and knocked over, and you see little baubles all over the ground. And then you hear your friends moving people around in the other room.
Yeah.
You go in the other room, you get over by Alyssa and Tuco and Durant. You're up.
Okay. I am going to first of all do a medicine check to see if I need to do something like lesser restoration as opposed to cure wounds for Tuco.
You feel like lesser restoration would be the cure for his paralysis.
Okay, then I will do lesser restoration.
Okay. You immediately end the condition of paralysis. And Tuco, the last thing you remember was when you went to pick up the thing, and you heard you heard the sound of that bell, but that you like couldn't see everything that was going on. But you kind of come out of it now, and you see all of your friends are around you.
Ooh, that hurt. I'm going to cast Second Wind on myself.
Okay. Well, you use Second Wind to heal yourself with some hit die.
Yes.
Okay, so
That's just 1d10, right? Plus
yes.
2.
Longer story short, Riff, you cast Leomund's tiny hut. You guys are in a magical dome, essentially like being in a tent, but it's a magical dome of force. You can rest in this magical dome if you are so inclined. What I have to look up is whether or not you can come and go.
I think everyone but me, I can't come and go. I have to stay.
Brother,
Everyone
would you
else
like
can.
me to gather anything for you?
I was just wondering, I don't know if you guys are thinking the same thing, that we're going to be tracked down by, I don't know what's coming after smashing that. I don't think that Phantom was the master. So I imagine the master is going to find us. And so we best get in a long rest. I know most of us have burned a lot of spell slots, and we need to talk about what we think is coming, because we still have to defeat him. Or am I wrong? And have we already won?
No, I think you're right.
Didn't you also ask?
Alyssa shakes her head. She says, no, if you destroyed the phylactery, then then he is destroyed.
Are you
Oh,
sure? Can
But
somebody
didn't
do
the
an?
King that never sleeps said that once we killed the mage that never dies, we would be transported to someplace else, I thought.
yeah.
Don't remember his words, but also by him dying, wouldn't everyone in this tower be freed? Have you heard any? Have we heard? I guess have we heard anything? Can we listen for sounds of?
We gotta
It
go back
is-
to that dragon.
It is magnificently silent. Do
Are
you
you certain?
guys? You guys can come and go per the spell. Basically, you can come and go. Nothing else can get into the hut. Only Riff and the people who were around Riff and inside of it when he cast it can come and go. So you guys could come and go.
And we also have to go to that island.
This seems easier than I would have expected.
Yep.
I would have expected to actually see the mage that never dies and defeat him.
Yeah, I feel
Did
like
you ask the crystal ball?
Yeah, let's do that. I want to go to the crystal ball and I want to ask, did we defeat the mage who never dies?
Yes.
Okay. Then how the hell do we get out of this thing?
The front
oh,
door.
well,
Holy shit, okay. The front door.
do you guys want a long rest since this is here, or at least
Yes.
some kind of rest?
Hell no, I want to go slap hands with the freaking green
Yeah.
dragon.
I was gonna say we should see that dragon again.
But
Help, what's
we're
up?
still not out of it because
Do you guys, during the course of this rest, do you leave and go check on other things?
I want to make sure I'm getting my long rest in so I can get my slots back.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
technically, a long rest can be achieved as long as you're not exerting yourself in any fashion.
Okay. I'm
So, like,
really good at
walking
not
is
exerting
not-
myself.
Yeah, walking's not exerting. So if you like leave the hut and walk down, basically what you guys come to find is that all of the boxes and all the little treasures are all still there in
Thank God.
both of the top rooms. At every other level, there's an open doorway with no door, just a portal to an empty room. Everything else is empty.
Okay.
Like moving out of a house. It's sad.
Do we want
Can
to?
so all those spell books and everything, they're all gone?
Yep.
This sucks.
I feel like I was
so we're still
like,
back
I
in
wanted
time,
those.
right?
We're still
Our-
here.
Well, clearly I'm spending the entire time having conversations with Alyssa, so I don't even leave.
What about
unless,
the map?
Unless Riff asks.
The map
me.
is still there. But
We need to
Everything
load
that-
ourselves up with treasure.
you guys, everything that you guys had with you and everything on the two rooms with all the boxes is still there. But the rest of the tower is clear.
Can I do like an investigation treasure check to see if I can find any useful magic items that would be helpful to Riff in his ongoing journeys?
You would
And if
have
there's a
to probably-
wheelbarrow
or
or something around that we could
Like
load
not
all this
gems
stuff
or
out.
anything, but you said there might be other magic items.
Guys,
Oh, doesn't Durant
this
have
could
that
be-
disc?
This could be our base.
Oh yeah, we become the new mages who never die.
Why not?
The dads who never die.
The cycle repeats itself. Great.
Master, we found your retirement home.
Yes, thank God.
So in the interest of story, I'm going to tell you this. Each one of you guys will be able to carry, if you say, hey, Bill, I'm loading up with as much as I can carry, I will generate your treasure list and your valuables list. But I'm not going to do that now because it would take like an hour.
Right, but Durant has that disc spell, doesn't he?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
So
So
could run that
I'm
and
going to
carry
give you a list after this game offline. I'm going to give you a list of everything that you guys load up with. Essentially, there's going to be, for each one of you guys, there could be up to 10 magical items of different rarity and a significant amount of objects worth a significant amount of value, right?
Durant is specifically looking for diamonds of 100 gold pieces in value or
Yeah.
more.
That won't be a problem.
And
That's
like,
Charles buying a town.
If there are any like spell
Schitt's Creek.
scrolls or books, those would be up Durant's
Yep.
alley.
There are going to be
Probably, and
the only
probably
thing
like
there's not going to be, I'll tell you right now, the only thing there's not going to be are objects which would not reasonably fit into one of these boxes, right? So like there's not going to be like a sword or a hammer or armor. There may be rings, necklaces, there may be other small magical items, scrolls, potions, that kind of stuff. But it is going to be based on size. So what I'm going to do is generate the entire treasure list.
So
So
Shem is dead. So Shem was out there, and now
Yeah.
he just collapsed. It's like, oh fuck, somebody killed my, somebody killed me.
Sentence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
So
we do have this blood oath to fulfill, man. I guess we should.
So here's what happens. Narratively speaking, you guys all obtain a long rest in Liamon's tiny hut. You take your time, you go through all these treasures, and you amass as much as all of you can possibly carry. And you have Tensor's floating disc, and Alyssa even is willing to carry stuff to help you guys out, right? At a certain point, though, you decide to leave the tower. You go down the stairs. You go back to the main door, the front door. You open it and you look out, and it is not the flooded forest. When you look out the door, you see a rocky shore and you see ocean for as far as you could see.
Any ships or boats?
Nope.
Any signs of civilization whatsoever?
Well, do you leave and look around? Because right now you're kind of looking just through the narrow field of view that you have looking out this door.
So are we on an island then?
It smells like it. I mean,
So we have a place to step onto outside of the door.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go.
I can't hear Etroff.
He's muted.
Yeah, sorry. I turn into an eagle. I fly around a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
You go out, you recon. When you fly out, you indeed see an island. And it's a big island, like miles by miles, not not hundreds of miles, but like enough where like you can't see the end of it even with eagle vision. So it seems like it's at least 5 miles around. There's ocean in every direction, no other islands that you see. Towards the center of the island are like some hills and even a couple mountainous peaks, and there's different plots of areas that have woods and stuff. And when you circle back to your friends, you don't see a tower, you just see a clutch of like large rocks. Now when you kind of land near where you flew out of, you see a portal through the clutch of rocks, and you see your friends sitting there waiting for you.
And I tell him, "Gah."
Oh, well, you don't say.
I pull out Pierce to see if readers can understand that.
Yes, Pierce says
gonna speak
it's an
gibberish.
island. He says it's an island.
I was trying to do this. You said that you were familiar with the ocean or in the Sea and Fall Stars where the dragon ship fell. Could this be that or near there?
She says, I'm not sure. She said, did Relic tell you what this place was and why he was sending you here?
Yeah, he gave us a map. Who's got the map?
Oh, well then
I
I'm
do.
sure that'll answer all of our questions.
Estrop, does the map look like what you saw flying?
Gah.
Yes, more or less.
Yes, more or less.
Go! Okay.
Yeah. All right, I turn back and hand the map over.
Okay, you guys step out.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You step out of the portal. After the last person steps out, the portal disappears and it is just a pile of rocks at the edge of a shore of an island. The sound of the waves of the ocean, the sea crashing against the rocky shore, the smell of fresh air and fresh seawater, fill your nostrils. Like, this is the real deal. It's not some illusion. It's not some dream world. This is the real deal. And you look out away from the shore where you are towards the center of the island. And as I described, you see, sporadic trees and tall grasses and stuff. You see more trees in the distance and hills, and then it kind of rises to a mountain in the center of the island. And that's what you see ahead of you. And you don't see any signs of civilization. You don't see any inhabitants. You just see this kind of rough island.
Time to go spend all our loot.
Right.
Going
Claim
on an
this island.
adventure.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to buy this island.
And who's looking at the map?
You guys pull out the map. It
Yeah.
it looks as if you orient yourself based on the recon mission that Estroff did. It looks as if the map would lead you towards the center of the island where that mountain is.
I think
Set
it's
up
a
base
volcanic
camp.
mountain, guys. Any
Oh,
Any guesses?
lava in there? Remember, we're supposed to destroy this orb. I don't know if we have time to do that now, but that's our next thing.
we
Okay.
have to find it.
Right.
We're all fresh rested.
Where's the X on the map?
You follow it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you hike for about an hour. The first half an hour is pretty uneventful. The second half an hour, you're kind of going up hills that are, there's a lot of bushes and trees and foliage that you kind of have to hike your way through and cut your way through. You guys are pretty loaded up with treasure too, but eventually you make it up to kind of the top of the hills before the tree line sort of disappears and it becomes a rocky mountain. And as you arrive, you see that there's like a fissure in the mountain, almost like a cave. And it would seem like this is where the X is.
Is there room for us to get in there?
Yeah,
fissure?
it looks like it. It's dark.
Even with our treasure, we might have to leave that.
You might have to set a bag down because you're, to squeeze through.
I'd rather die.
Let's draw. Do you feel like spidering your way through, or maybe not a spider, something faster? And should we just go all together?
Yeah, I could probably snake through.
Do a little recon.
Yeah. I'll go ahead. Now, you know what? I'll turn into a lizard. That sounds like fun. Now,
I
skitter,
love my
skitter,
eyeball.
skitter.
I'll
Turn
send,
into a
Pierce
Komodo
along- I'll send Pierce along to be eyes from the sky and to threaten to eat the lizard once in a while.
Okay.
I'll light my
Let's go into
lantern.
this fissure. You create I'm assuming a light cantrip or something. And it's a small, it's not that deep. The cave only goes about 10 feet in. And the floor of the cave is just sand and rock.
Nothing else in there?
No,
All right. I dig with my little lizard feet.
it's going to take a while.
All right. I go ahead and try to turn back into Estroff
Yes.
and dig with my little Estroff hands.
So it's like rock and stone.
Yeah. Rock and sand.
Can I actually use stone shape to move the rock out of the way?
Yes, you do. Sure. It's great. You're like, "Whew, move." And you move all this stuff and you see something that was buried here long ago, wrapped up in like burlap, basically, like in like layers of cloth. And then that cloth is tightly wound with twine. It looks like it's been here for quite a while because like the twine sort of looks like it's disintegrated.
I open it
Get up.
like Pippin.
Mm-hmm.
You open up the cloth, and instead of a bright light, you just see a black orb, very glassy looking, very crystal looking, about the size of a billiard ball.
Would you say it was precious to him?
You
wouldn't, Humphrey.
No.
you have it with, like, I'm assuming that you have it like on the burlap, right? So like
Yeah.
okay, so you're looking at this thing And as you're looking at it, it almost seems you have dark vision, right?
Yes.
It almost seems like there's something inside of it, like almost like a charcoal kind of smoky motion inside of this glass orb.
I feel like I would absent-mindedly touch it.
I lick it. No.
You touch the orb?
Yeah, I think I would like flip it over to the other hand to see underneath it.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no. That's an 11.
Okay.
You're now the mage who never dies.
Yeah,
No,
right.
Now, no one else went in there with Estroff, right?
I mean, I went in there
Oh, I
to
think we
help
went
with
in.
Stone.
Okay. So that's
I
right. So
didn't,
you guys
but-
are in there. Durant's not. So you guys notice Estroff is like holding it, and he kind of like touches it gently, and nothing seems to happen.
There's a lot of build up. Okay.
Humphrey, who else is in there? Humphrey and Riff and Tuco.
Tuco.
All right, you guys can, all three of you guys, if you're in there, you could make a perception check.
Oh god, I'm possessed.
24.
Natural 20.
5.
Okay, so Humphrey and Tuco, you notice that there is a millisecond at which, after touching it, Estroff looked up and his eyes briefly flashed purple and then went to like a normal color.
Okay. Are you
We
feeling
have to
all
kill
right?
Estroff.
Estroff,
If we have to, I suppose we'll do it.
Estroff, you feel totally fine, like yourself.
Yeah, it's just a ball.
So I want to look over to Tuco and like we share a glance with each other. Like, let's keep an eye on this, but kind of keep it to ourselves.
That's
Right.
what you say, but Tuco's like, yeah,
Like-
I'll stab him too.
Right? It's like, holy shit, guys! Did you see that? Right?
Shall we find if there's any lava in this volcano or in this mountain rather? I don't know, it's volcano, guys. Can we perceive there's heat coming from any direction?
So anyone who can fly could easily get to the top of this instead of climbing.
We
And
haven't
I
done
don't
that in a
think-
while.
We can all fly. I haven't used
Yeah,
that necklace in a
right.
while.
So you
Can
guys
we land though?
you guys collectively do your flight. You fly to the top of this mountain, and there is not a volcanic opening. There is, however, another fissure at the top of the mountain that goes into a cave. And you go into this cave. And when you walk to kind of this goes in quite a ways. You walk to what you feels like the center of this cave at the peak of this mountain. And about 60 feet in, you see what looks like a man-made ring of stones. As you're approaching it, and I'm assuming you have some light source because Tuco can't see in the dark, right?
I have my lantern.
Okay, so you see this ring of stones, and it's about 3 feet tall, and it looks like it's man-made. It has to be because it's like a perfect ring of stones. As you get closer to it, you kind of get within 5 feet of it. You peer, and it looks like it's like a tunnel, like it goes down, almost like a well.
Down we go.
You guys remember that murdering, raving lunatic? In
That's
that well, he fell down the heart collector.
Oh,
This is
right.
This is giving me bad feelings, but
Flashbacks.
Did I ever catch up with the group? I'm not sure if I did or not.
I thought at this point we all
I
four.
think
I
we
wouldn't have
would've-
left you.
I think we would have gotten you
Oh
in.
shit, Durant.
We didn't say every detail.
Yeah.
I assume that we're all together here.
Yeah, you're all together.
Right.
Yeah.
If I'm there, I'm definitely gonna say like, are we heading toward Moander?
Oh gosh, the serpent, sleeping serpent. Is that who that
Okay.
was?
Um,
Can Riff tell how deep that is just by
Okay,
looking
so-
at dark
so-
vision?
looking with dark vision, it goes down as far as you could see. You do feel a draft of hot air.
Can we drop a pebble, see if we can hear it on the way down?
Sure, you cast the light cantrip on a pebble and you drop it, and it goes down for as far as the light can see.
Okay.
And then you can't see it anymore.
Is there space to control flight down there, down the well?
You have magical flight, so you can just fly down there.
All right, you guys want to just fly down
Yep,
until
let's
it's
do
too
it.
hot
Yeah.
to continue? Just in case Riff wraps his mantle, his cloak around him that he got from the sleeping giant king.
Good
Because
move.
it's endure
The
elements.
further down you go, the hotter it becomes. You estimate that it gets to about 120 degrees. And you get to the base of this chute effectively. And it is not a lava floor, but the rock is hot. You feel like if there was some way to kind of drill down deep into this, you would maybe get into some kind of geyser or some kind of maybe connecting sort of fissure to a lava flow.
Humphrey, you got another one of those magic stone moving?
Yeah, but if we
Yep,
open
I
a
got
hole
one-
in the floor here, will the lava come shooting out and hit us?
Probably.
I got one
We
more
can
in
fly.
there if you need it.
We can still.
I have 2 technically, so I mean,
Wait,
we-
would a fireball?
Oh,
Humphrey,
God.
do you think one of your fireballs could blast through this? And if we were way up out of danger range?
You know, I think it would be irresponsible if we didn't try. So sure, let's fireball.
I mean, I don't know. I'm saying like fly up.
That's 120 feet, right?
Your lady's already thrown the fireball with us.
I've already. I don't think you understand, guys. I've already cast the fireball.
Is it
It's
so?
already
Let me just
happening.
ask
No.
this: is it your intent to basically excavate?
Yes.
Yeah, then I would.
I
Through
think our
magical
intent
means,
is to
you're willing
put
to-
this.
yeah, if you're willing to blow through some spell slots, you literally just start excavating this dirt. You go down about 30 feet and it ruptures open into an underground cavern. Hot air is blowing up now, like really hot. Like
Unsustainably.
unless you cast some kind of resistance to fire spell, you're not going down there. And you see a kind of a glow from below. And it looks like maybe another 150 feet down is just molten flame lava.
So as if we were to drop it from here, it would we have reasonably it'd be reasonable to assume it would fall directly into lava.
It gives you that impression. Yes.
Should we ask your crystal that would dropping it in there destroy it?
That's a fair question. I'd like to ask the crystal that.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, it would. So let's do
Astroff,
it.
you have a realization. You're not really sure what this thing does, and you're also not really sure that you can trust the Pirate King because of the fact that he could have an ulterior motive. And it occurs to you that it's possible that if you guys drop this orb down there, that you will actually be doing exactly what Shem Tetra wanted you to do all along.
Oh shit.
You know, what if we didn't get rid of the lich? You know, I agree with Humphrey. It was a little too easy. So
Frodo, no.
Okay. On hearing this, so what are you thinking, Estroff?
I'm thinking that in fact, by throwing this in, we will be helping the lich.
Ow.
Alyssa says, no, that you destroyed the phylactery.
But did we?
Yes.
Yes.
But Alyssa, you said yourself you had no idea what the phylactery was. And then all of a sudden you are very sure we destroyed it.
Well, but you opened many boxes and none of them triggered a strange ghost to attack.
And if I had a bunch of snooping little adventurers in my tower, I would definitely ward a cardboard box and have them fight it and disappear somewhere far away with a ball.
I think you are
And so
wise.
this is the point where I kind of look at Tuco, and maybe it's time that we mention the glow that we saw in his eyes.
You're very wise. The phylactery is actually this orb. We should definitely throw the phylactery into the lava.
Right.
Just to be safe, Durant's going to cast Dispel Magic on the orb.
Oh, really?
Boom! And we're all dead. This has been the best.
The volcano erupts and we all die.
All right.
But what a way to go.
Or maybe our fly spell expires and we all plummet into
On the orb, not on the people.
right.
You cast Dispel Magic at the orb. Make a Wisdom saving throw.
Except, nope, that's not going to do it. That is a natural 2 for a 9. I'm going to burn my inspiration point and reroll.
Oh, good man.
Yes.
That was a good choice.
Wait, before you do that, can I do Bardic Inspiration? Give you a 1d8 to add on there.
I've already rolled, but I'll let Bill make the decision.
I'm your brother. I would have
go ahead.
stepped in.
I'll let you do it.
I've actually got a song to go with that Bardic Inspiration. You inspired me. So you had a bad roll. Die doesn't lie. Now try something else before we all die. You had a bad roll.
Well done, sir.
There you go.
That's
I've been
good.
waiting for that all season.
It's D8, you said?
1d8.
Okay. So that's 22 before I even add my modifier, so 29.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
Phil,
I'm really
switching it.
excited about possibly becoming a warlock, guys.
Don't take this away from me.
You sense that golden glow below, and the extreme heat is some kind of lava flow, and you feel like whatever you throw into it will be anything would be destroyed in that.
Especially a secret weapon against the phylactery.
Yeah, but he cast Dispel Magic.
Yeah, I cast Dispel Magic.
Yeah.
So
Destroy it. Drop it in the lava.
So does the spell do anything?
You sense that there is still magic.
It's magically magic.
It's magically delicious.
So I want to say, hey guys, when we saw Astroff touch this thing, even on accident, his eyes, lit up purple. I don't know if he's thinking correctly right now.
I think he's touched, a wee bit touched, maybe.
A wee bit touched in the head.
Yeah.
You've always been jealous of me.
Right?
Step away from the orb.
So, yeah. So, Astroff, I think we need to destroy it. Let's do that right now.
This is so anticlimactic, isn't it?
So, what if I cast Minor Illusion using the orb and then cast that illusion in there?
Okay. None of you guys believe this. Astroff has the orb.
I disbelieve the feeble spell.
You feel like who rolled insight?
I don't think any of us did.
Okay, so once Humphrey and Tuco revealed this to you, you can roll insight.
Okay, I will. That's a nat 20.
What?
Yeah.
Plus
Astroff
20, so
Astroff is under the mental influence of something.
Astroff, I don't want to hurt you, but that needs to go.
You need to go.
Mr. Astroff, Don't you miss this taste of
wanna hurt
strawberries
you.
and cream, Mr. Estroff?
Mr. Restaurant.
We've got to get back to the
Um,
forest.
Estroff, make a perception check.
So that would be a 7.
Okay. Where is the orb right now?
In my hand, away from them.
I want to cast Charm Person on Estroff.
Alyssa turns to you and she says, Estroff, I want you to trust me. I know the master is manipulative, and I see what you were saying. He could be tricking all of us. But I also know that Relic gave his life to keep this thing away from the master so that it could be destroyed. She says, it is not of this world. It is evil. It is pure physical, material evil. She says it must be destroyed. Please, don't you wish to have happiness? Don't you miss laughter?
With his other hand, Estroff picks up the endless bottle of wine and remembers the better times. And very slowly gives it up to her.
She takes it in the cloth, not touching it. And she looks down at the excavation and she tosses it down. And the circle of you look and you see this thing falling down and your eyes are like watering from the hot air and the sulfuric kind of fumes that are coming up. And you hear something like an explosive sound and rumbling, like literally feeling vibrations underneath you.
Time to go.
Let's fly, guys.
You guys fly up the chute.
Flying fools.
Yeah.
Okay.
You fools.
I need to know who's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Humphrey
Riff-
tends to be
Riff
first
grabs
to get
as soon
out of
as,
here.
as soon as Riff saw Estroff drop that and then explosion, he grabs Estroff, wraps the cloak around him, and goes up right away.
I have a moment.
Oh,
Duco's bringing up the rear, make sure there's no stragglers.
yeah. I'll follow. As soon as I can up there.
Okay.
Then I'll be sort of trying to protect Alyssa. However,
Of course.
You guys you fly up. Not recklessly, but as fast as you can, controlling the magic. You fly up, you get to the top cave, you come out the well, you hear rumbling, you see flame and lava below you. You fly out of the cave and out of the fixture, and you're off, like away from the mountain, flying away from the mountain. You hear louder rumbling. You see steam and like smoke start to come from the mountain.
Grab the treasure bags that we left down by the first fissure, quick.
Don't leave them.
Fly down and swoop down and grab them.
You swoop down.
My
I'll give you
retirement.
because you have the flight spell. You swoop down, you grab all the treasure, you fly away from the center of the island
Fire away.
as the mountain
Go to the ocean.
explodes.
Fly to the
We-
ocean.
The mountain
We are
top
the Eagles.
explodes.
Try beating
The mountain
you.
top explodes and lava starts spewing out of it. As you guys are flying, you realize you're not really sure how long this flight spell will last, but you don't see any land in any direction. Make a perception roll, each one of you. Oh, I'm sorry. Not perception, survival.
Oh, great. Oh, natural 20.
Okay,
30-20.
good.
18.
You guys figure out which direction is
6.
north. Though you have no idea, you figure out which direction's north. I'm going to let you choose what direction you're flying in. And it will matter because I know what's in each direction. So north, south, east, or west.
Can we ask Alyssa where the shipwreck was in relation to the island?
She's like, I have no idea because I have no idea where this island is.
Does the map show anything but the island? Does
Nope.
it show other land masses?
Can the
anywhere?
diadem help?
So you have no way of knowing where you are.
Well, we think we're in the Sea of Fallen Stars, right?
Did we see any moss on trees on the island?
No.
Nifty.
Well,
You're
we know what way north is. We just have to pick a
Flying
direction.
blind. You're flying blind. You head north. And
I'm gonna dive into the water and speak with
As-
animals.
as the spell is running out, with the volcanic explosion behind you, you see a ship, like a large sailing ship up ahead. You are able to basically coast in and land on top of this ship. And it looks like a pretty sizable like caravel. And as you land on the ship, all these sailors are like baffled at how you've arrived here, just literally flying out of the sky.
Nice, Nathan.
Thank you.
And you guys land on the ship, and one of the sailors says, "Oi, Captain, get a load of this." And you see a man emerge from the captain's cabin. And he's tall, he's well built. He has a square jaw and a clean shaven face.
Oh,
And he has eyes that are blue like the sky. And he looks at all of you and he says, "I'm Captain Edwards."
What? Edwards, it's me.
And that is where we'll end this episode. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Thank you for watching, for liking and subscribing. And we will see you on the next season of D&D with Dads. Peace out, everybody.
Well, hello, and welcome to Bill Allen World. I am Wizzy, the Wizard. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. Tune in to the next episode of whatever show you are just watching, and watch other shows featuring Bill. He made me say that because he's a narcissist. Okay, bye.